awesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
301 of the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from Stout on 35th Street between 7th and 8th, just down the street from Madison Square Garden, the site of Game 2 between the Knicks and the Sixers. Will Philadelphia even the series at 1, or will the Knicks hold serve? What's up, boys?
Hi.
Rainy day, but nothing but sunshine in Nickland.
This day just completely flipped at around, what was it? It was like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, about
right?
1 o'clock, I get the text message
Shams
from
Charania puts out a report that, and it's funny, I've been saying about this series is, head-to-head with the star power on both sides. You always talk about matchups, and the one thing with the Sixers, they're one tweak away from missing a key piece because they've got a couple of guys that have injury history, and, of course, no one more than Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid will not play tonight.
Oh, boy.
Ankle soreness, hip soreness, general soreness.
That's what
general soreness.
And it really changes everything tonight. It changes your perspective about tonight. I think it changes the game plan tonight. But does it change anything about the rest of the series? Now, I have all along felt the Knicks should win this series. But I don't know how much this is tonight to me, how you completely put your foot now on the neck of the Sixers.
But you know what's interesting? Wasn't that the case anyway? I mean, you're home. You're on a roll. This was such a big game to begin with. I understand what you're saying. Now you almost have to because their best player is not playing. But I still felt that going in anyway. Didn't you?
Now it adds to the pressure because if you lose this game somehow, you mess around, you show that you're not as serious as we thought. You take your foot off the gas. It looks especially bad. And it changes the tenor a bit.
And let me remind you, Boston won Game 1 against the Sixers by 30. Smoked them. And everybody's like, this is not even going to be a series. Sixers were a play-in team. Game 2, Boston messed around and found out.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
Like didn't take it serious. The Sixers would just all of a sudden.
Mafo.
There was no Embiid in Game 1 or Game 2 or Game 3. There was no Embiid yet. And so because they were able to beat them so easily in Game 1, this sense of security in Game 2 for the Celtics, which eventually ended up hurting them for the rest of the series and relying on the threes. The Sixers played fast, hit a bunch of threes, and suddenly stole Game 2, won Game 2, and now you're split. And now the series has this sense of it's not really over yet. And then the specter of Embiid coming back, showed up in Game 4, and then the whole series changed once Embiid came back. So that's why, as Josh Hart's talked about it, McBride's talked about it, Jalen Brunson's talked about it, the Knicks know they've been here before, they've been through these situations. You win Game 1, you're in the driver's seat. But if you lose Game 2, you give it back. And 5 times they've played. This is my stat. 5 times they've had home court advantage in a series and won Game 1. 3 times out of the 5, they've lost Game 2. And ended up with a split being home. So 3 out of the 5 times they're giving back home court.
Yeah.
Now, the good news, they've won all 3 of those series, including Atlanta. But I don't think that's what you want to see tonight. No. You don't want that tonight. And I think there's this bit of a sense of urgency that we've heard in the off day from the Knicks that has to make you believe that with Embiid, without Embiid, they will be ready to play and take care of business tonight.
No, this team has been doing something special, and this city and this fan base feels different than they have in a long time.
Yeah.
Listen, if the Knicks lose tonight, I still would, of course, bet them to win the series. But you really do, as long as you can keep capitalizing on this thing. And by the way, this thing that they're on right now, it may end, and they still go on to have a great playoff run. But as long as you can keep this proverbial toot, as you might say, Don, going, 4 straight blowouts, essentially, you want to keep this train going. Now, I happen, you guys, if you've been following along with the program that we do here every day from 3 to 7, you know that I've bet the Knicks 4 times in a row. Last time was even by accident, still hit.
Right.
That's true. It took your bet without you actually pressing the button.
I didn't even mean to, and it took.
You hovered, and it said, no, you want this.
Trust me. yesterday I took, as you guys know, I threw another 5 honey, which for me is like $5 million, might as well be, down on the Knicks at 7.5. And we said on the air, I said, let me get it now in case the line goes up.
I think we've actually said in case something.
Someone made a joke.
Embiid.
Someone said, if Embiid breaks a nail and misses the game.
That was me.
That was you, Jacob. And at last check, it was 10.5 from 7.5 yesterday. So if you're playing along with the Peter and Knicks love affair that's happening right now, well, we got some more good news today.
I never played professional basketball, but I'm competitive. I've put myself in situations where how would I deal with this if I were the Knicks? All right, would I take my foot off the gas? Oh, we're going to win this game easy. Or would I look at the disrespect that I generally get from outside of New York, where nobody really respects us at the level that they should? And we're on this run that has been heavenly. And now with Embiid out, the expectation is the Knicks should thrash them. Let's live up to expectations. Let's go out there and just destroy them because it'll feel like a loss, at least to me. If the Sixers are competitive and the Knicks win on a last-second shot, as gratifying as that would be to win a close game, it would almost feel like, geez, without Embiid, the Sixers played better and they hung. Like,
maybe they figured something out. Maybe they're on to something now.
Isn't there a motivation to just go out there and just improve it?
Well, Alan,
beat them by 40 if you can.
And Alan and I were discussing this before we went on the air. The fact of the matter is when you remove a great and important player from a team, while there is, of course, a huge loss that comes with that, you fundamentally change the ethos and vibe of the team. So you're now playing a new team tonight.
It's like, you hear stories about when somebody loses their sight, their hearing gets stronger, their other senses get stronger.
Right.
That happens in sports where, they're dead. The best player's out. Or the baseball team's starting a rookie because the starting pitcher got hurt. And they just rise to the occasion. I'm sure everybody with the Philadelphia 76ers are like, nobody's believing in us. We've been in this situation before. It's not like we have to make that big of an adjustment. This guy's been out we've played a lot of games without our best player, including in the postseason.
They're comfortable. They know what this is.
So it almost becomes what I think whether the Knicks thrive. The Knicks thrive on nobody believes in us. Let's go prove the world wrong. That's going to be the Sixers' attitude, and the Knicks should be worried about that and say, no. This is a situation where the line's gone up to double digits. Let's just show the world. Because anything less than that is going to feel like the Knicks are fugazi, right? For all the people that believe the Knicks are a paper champion, a close game tonight feeds into that. Not that you should worry about that, but I'm sure professional athletes do. Why feed into that narrative where a win becomes a loss because you didn't win by enough because their best player was out? But that should motivate you to really get the hammer out. Destroy them.
So, Alan, how will this look different based on what the Sixers do when they don't have Embiid? How will this game look different?
Let's remember that they didn't have Embiid for the first 3 games of the Boston series, and Boston was up 2-1. Then when he came back, it didn't help them, and they went up 3-1. So just understand that without Embiid, they're not a better team, but they do know how to play without him, and that's why they were able to steal game 2. Brad Stevens talked today, and they know it. They gave that series away, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were not very good at knocking down the threes. The Knicks aren't relying on that. The Knicks are getting in the paint. The Knicks are scoring in the paint. The Knicks were in game 1 took more shots and had a higher percentage of finish at the rim and in the paint than the Celtics did on average in their series. So Boston spent a lot of time on the perimeter, which plays to what Sixers want. Without Embiid, it's even easier. Now, put him in pick and roll, they were killing him. But they were going to adjust on that. Now they don't have to. They don't have much rim protection at all. Same as the Hawks. I almost feel like it's kind of going to be a similar attack from the Knicks perspective against Atlanta, where they don't have a lot of big guys. They have a Dembona who's probably going to start. He's a big guy. He's one of these guys that just plays with a lot of energy, fouls the hell out of everybody, falls into his own teammate. He's a wild card kind of player, but his energy's great, and he can give you energy moments, but he's not an offensive threat, right? He's not somebody that you really have to worry about. So it becomes a big Maxey and Paul George game. And that means a big drive and kick for threes. Edgecombe threes, catch and shoot, very good. Paul George, very good shooting the 3 in the playoffs so far. That's the part you have to worry about. the Knicks' ability to defend the three. The good news is, and I'm telling you once again, as I said, playing the Hawks might have been a good thing because it's going to be the same thing that Atlanta was trying to do. Play fast, get turnovers, and a lot of kick-out threes and make you scramble defensively in transition. If Maxey goes for 30 or even 40 tonight, salute. It's whoever else has a big game that you worry about. You know Maxey is going to be the engine. That's what he does. What you don't want is other guys to beat you, and that's Edgecombe, and that's, of course, Paul George. And even Quentin Grimes in a smaller role.
Sixers regular season with Embiid 24-14, without him 21-23. That tells me two things. Obviously, they're better with Embiid, and they played a lot of games without him.
Yes.
I mean, 44 games of the regular season, more than half the season without Embiid. So this should be a natural transition.
And remember, how much of that was also without Embiid and Paul George? Because remember, Paul George missed a bulk of the season because of the PED stuff.
But what you just described, though, is kind of the essence of the NBA. And I know you roll your eyes, but it does simplify things where, hey, if they hit these threes, it could be a very competitive game.
That's how they won Game 2. The Sixers won Game 2 because they got red hot from downtown.
I mean, Atlanta didn't hit their threes, and they were awful at it, especially early in the game, and the Knicks were able to take advantage of that. And when you look at NBA games, that's usually it, right? And that could work to the Sixers' advantage. They're hot from three, and the Knicks are cold. That can change everything, with or without Embiid in there. But it sounds to me like they'll be a little bit more reliant on that. How that affects the game, we'll ultimately see. But still, when you take a player of his significance out, and you've already been big time on a roll anyway, and you got to feel pretty good.
And let me do that because I don't want to diminish his absence and say, well, they're used to playing without him. And, I'm getting like, again, talking to people, my phone blew up when all that happened, and a lot of people were saying to me, they're better off without him. And I said, no, not really, and not in this matchup because he got Towns in foul trouble early. He got Robinson in foul trouble early, and that was dangerous early in Game 1. Now, it didn't end up mattering, but because of his ability to get you in foul trouble and cause disruption, and he's gravity a lot of times offensively, and what he did against Boston, that was the difference in why they won that series.
Right. Because
he became similar to Towns. He became the hub of the offense. He's a very important player for them when he's on the court and he's playing well. So they're going to have to play another way without him, and a big part of it is, as we said, they're going to have to win the perimeter game against the Knicks defense. And if you know Nick Nurse, he's one of the great coaches in the NBA. He won a championship. He comes up with some type of defense, and he just tries a million different things until he finds the one thing that works, and then he sticks to it. And I think we're going to see a heavy dose of zone, take the paint away, and say, let's see if they can make threes. Because they did that with Boston, and Boston couldn't make them.
The only way I'd believe, Peter, that they're better off without Embiid is if you're telling me that this hip and ankle injury affected him big time in Game 1, which is not nothing. I mean, it's less than 48 hours later, and he's out. So was he lumbering, injured, affecting them, where they're better off without him because he wasn't going to be close to 100%.
He was bad in pick-and-roll defense, really bad.
So from that standpoint, can they do a better job? Because if you have Embiid, you have a compromised Embiid.
Well, and I also just wonder, now as Alan mentioned, the lack of rim protection for Philadelphia, does having his body out of the middle naturally change the way the Knicks' offense performed in Game 1? And by changing that, is there some negative ramification? Do you end up playing a little bit more Brunson ball? Does he end up popping a little bit more, which is not where they want to go? We know that this team has been thriving when the offense runs through Cat and OG and Jalen just gets his. So you never know what Nick Nurse tries to come up with to push them back into a Knicks version of basketball that we know has not been as effective.
That's exactly it, Peter. That's exactly it, is pack the paint and take away a lot of the one-on-one stuff with a ton of help and traps and all kinds of junk defense, and just say, Josh Hart, you're going to have to make all those threes you're going to get in the corner. Mikal Bridges, you're going to have to make all those shots. Put it on other people to beat you. And then on top of it, they talked a lot of physicality after Game 1. Now, Embiid did a lot of the talking.
He always does.
And so it's interesting that Embiid's the one that's not playing, but he's the one that was doing a lot of the talk about physicality. They were more physical. We need the more physical too and all that stuff. But I am curious to see if it's sort of like, okay, now we got to take one of them out, and they go after Karl Anthony Towns in this game tonight. That's something I'm really curious. They know with Brunson it's very difficult to guard him, and you got to guard him straight up, and you got to send help and all that stuff. Towns still has that reputation of somebody that can get taken off his game if you hit him a lot and frustrate him. And that's what, again, if you have a guy like a Demboni, you're like, dude, you got 6 fouls. Use them all. Use them all.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let him. If he's driving by you, shove him. And I think that's something that I would watch tonight with Robinson as well. Frustrate him by fouling it on purpose and making him go to free throw line. He was 0 for 4 in game 1. If he starts missing free throws and the building starts getting frustrated at him and the offense now gets stagnant because they're purposely fouling Robinson, now you got to take him out of the game. These are all little chess match kind of moves that Nick Nurse can use that can frustrate and slow down what the Knicks have right now, which is a high-octane offense that has been putting up 135, 140 points a game.
Hey, they can try whatever, right? I mean, they've got nothing to lose. It's still a road game for them, and even though we've seen a lot of road teams do well in these playoffs, all the Knicks would do is hold serve if they won this game. So I'm not saying that there's no pressure on the Sixers, but pull out all the stops. Right? Nobody believes. You lost your best player. You're on the road against a team that looks like a force. And play like you got nothing to lose. And if you do lose the game, again, although we all believe the Knicks are winning this series, it doesn't really change much because they haven't even played a game at home yet. Right? So I think everybody kind of expected after the way they won game 1, even though you said that there's a recent history of losing game 2, that this was going to be a game that the Knicks, they were a heavy favorite going in, even with Embiid playing.
Yeah.
So
most people that look at this series just saw game 1 and just saw the Knicks as a team that, while talent for talent, both teams have a ton of talent. And at full health, the Sixers have a lot of key players who are very talented. They have 3 really high-level all-NBA type talent, right? And Paul George and Embiid and Maxey. But when you take one away, and the way the Knicks have been playing as a team, the consensus has been, not just, again, locally, I keep saying this, and never mind the orange and blue skies that we have here, but nationally, the sense has been the Knicks are going to win the series. The Knicks are the better team. And now without Embiid, the pressure is on the Knicks to not waste any time, take full control of this series up 2-0, and then go to Philly knowing, A, you're probably going to have a lot of people there on your side, and B, you could put this series away pretty quickly with just one more win.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Especially if now it's a different-looking Sixers and they crush that one too. It's like, all right, well, we had the Embiid version game 1.
Right.
Disgusting. Game 2, no Embiid. Also disgusting. You talk about that building emptying out for game 3.
Oh, you'll sell tickets. That's what I mean.
Embiid's out, and then if we find out he's out again.
Those people will sell tickets. The Embiid thing, though, here's the one observation I have. I'm thinking he's taking this game off. I don't think this is a lingering rest of the series type deal for him. I honestly think he wants to be as fresh as he can for game 3. He looks at the 2 games in Philly more important. He knows that there's no time off between games. It's just game off game. I think in his back of his mind, he got up this morning, probably felt a little soreness, and thought to himself, forget it.
Hey,
if I play tonight, it's not going to do any – I need to get my gas tank full. Let me have that for game 3.
If you think about it, back to my original point from a moment ago, it's not a must-win for the Sixers. It feels like it the way the Knicks are playing.
No, it's not.
But you just hold serve.
Yeah.
And they can go back home. And, and listen, I think the Knicks fans are into the Sixers' heads, and that's something I think Knicks fans really need to be proud of. You have affected them. They're talking about you. They're talking about how loud the building is, how difficult it is to play in Madison Square Garden. You usually don't hear players say that. The announcers will say it, the media will say it, but for players to say it, it's affecting them. Don't you let up. We're talking about the Knicks. We can't control that. But you as fans, don't go in there having a party like you're going to go up 2-0. Come with the intensity because they're feeling it, man. They are feeling it. They're talking about it. You're in their heads. Live in their heads. Be very, very proud of that. But that's a great strategy if that's the case, Alan, because, listen, the likelihood of winning the series without Embiid is like 0. Even with Embiid, it's close to 0. And you want to make sure that you're ready for the must-win game 3. And no matter what happens tonight, it's going to be a must-win game 3, right? We talk about it in the best of 7. Joe Torre talked about it all the time, too.
Yep.
Game 3 is always so huge. 1-1, 2-0.
1-3-5.
Either way.
All the big ones.
So, if he's going to play similar to the way he played in game 1, it's going to be a loss anyway. That's why it feels like the Sixers tonight are playing with house money. Their player probably strategically is out of this game because they know their chance of winning are slim anyway. They're focused on the game coming up on Friday in Philadelphia for game 3, which is going to be a must-win for them. Now they come in, and does that looseness of it's house money give them a little bit of confidence to go out there and try some things. Maybe something works. And I'm telling you, if the Knicks let up at all, that could be dangerous. Hopefully that's a thing of the past. But
I don't see it. I'm telling you.
Tonight is going to be very interesting to test the theory of whether it's really out of their system or not.
It's a great point because, this is what I've loved about the messaging that they've had since Game 1, since the win, after the game, post-game, and even in the off day yesterday. So much of the messaging has been, we've been through this. It's that it's just going back on their experience of, we've been through this. We know what this is. We know what we have to do because we've learned from our mistakes in the past. We understand. Josh Hart saying, that game is yesterday. That doesn't matter anymore. We can't live on that stuff anymore. We can't sit back on that stuff anymore. I think all that, Jalen Brunson was asked, do you think this team has really, hit its peak? His answer was, I hope not.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. It's that urgency that you've learned over the years that, hey, you won a playoff series and you started feeling good about yourself, and then you realize, I got to win another playoff series. It's what everybody said about getting to the conference finals last year that echoed in that locker room because of the perspective. It's, you got to the conference finals, but you're still halfway there. You were halfway. You didn't get there all the way. You got halfway there. And I know, Don, believe you said something like that. I heard that in the locker room during the regular season. I was like, that's interesting that you guys see that way too, because the sense of everybody else is you're one round away. So that's why it's a great test tonight of, have you guys learned? Did Game 2, and then, of course, the way Game 3 started, wake you guys up to realize it's now or never. Boston's out. The Dragons been slayed. They're gone. Detroit, they got a great Game 1 last night. They looked really good, but you don't know what that series is going to be, and you've already seen what they've looked like when they struggle. The East is there for this team, and the odds-on favorite to get out of the East now, according to Vegas, resides here in New York.
Right, but that can change in one game tonight at Madison Square Garden with no Embiid for the Sixers. Want to hear from you at 1-800-919-3776. Big show here at Stout. Monica McNutt's going to join us. Bill Pidto's going to join us. Other surprises as well. We've got an ENN at 5:50 today.
Like you dream.
Because we're out of Dodge at 6 because the Knick game is on 880 at 7 o'clock, and Pat O'Keefe's going to have the hour-long pregame. So that means the Mets are going to be on 10:50, and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of this run for the New York Knicks. And we want to thank our partners with the Mets for allowing that to happen. So if you're coming to Stout, it's on 35th between 7th and 8th. So instead of sitting out on the rain outside Madison Square Garden, come hang out with us.
That's it.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg till 6 here on ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over. Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for Game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, new Verizon Mobile and home customers can get Fios and Alina Mobile for just $69.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabits per second for $20 a month. And unlimited welcome for $50 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios Internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver, and we are all getting ready for the Mubadala, New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York, and can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Now, what is your role as driver of the U.S. Sail GP team?
So as a driver, you kind of have two different roles. One is trying to help make sure that the boat is going, as fast as you can around the racetrack. And then in addition to that, kind of the decision maker on board, and using the information that I'm getting from the whole team and the coach booth to kind of make those split-second decisions around the racetrack.
It sounds like an awesome atmosphere. What's the energy going to be like sailing right at New York City?
There's no better feeling racing in front of the home crowd, representing our country, and hearing their cheering through our headsets that we have on board is, it gives me the chills just thinking about it. So we're pumped.
We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Now it's time for traffic and Susie Cerrone.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. Heavy delays on the Belt Parkway eastbound. Stop and go from before Flatbush Avenue out to Springfield Boulevard. Also slow on the northbound Gowanus from 38th Street to Atlantic Avenue. Cross Bronx to the George, an hour. Minor delays at the inbound George. On the upper deck, it's right lane road work till 4:30. Inbound Lincoln or Holland, minor delays. Don't forget the Yankees with a home game tonight at 7:05, so always a good idea to get an early start. We're sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. At the forefront of care and research for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Susie Cerrone for 880 ESPN New York.
Evan Cohen here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in. Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
I respect it.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from Stout, 35th. And we told you this last week when we did this. Don't go to the old one. It's the new one. It's the better one. We're on the second floor, 35th between 7th and 8th.
I love this
Just
spot.
go through the door, go right upstairs. We're hanging out till 6. Why 6? Because the Knicks game's at 7, and Pat O'Keefe's going to take over at 7 o'clock with the pregame.
6 o'clock.
Mets could be 6 o'clock with the pregame for the 7 o'clock tip. Pat O'Keefe is going to be doing that.
Yep.
And the Mets will be on 10:50, so we want to thank them for that as well. Mets and the Rockies later on tonight, so you can consume them there.
How much do we love the 7 o'clock tip-off tonight, by the way?
Love it.
Oh, I mean, for a million reasons.
Like
the
for
one
a
on
7
Friday is
o'clock
like
tip-off
Christmas.
is you just get right to the
Let's
go
get to
right
it.
into
But
the
you
game now.
You said something interesting about the whole halfway thing, and thank you for remembering, because I've been saying it, because I went through it with the Jets going to the championship game in 2009 and 2010, and the 2 Ranger runs to the conference final in 22 and 24. And even last year with the Knicks, is that the conference final or the championship game in the NFL, or even the Mets going to the league championship series a couple of years ago in 24, from a proximity standpoint, it's close, right? You're one round away from going to the Super Bowl, the World Series, the finals.
Sniff it.
But you are technically only halfway there.
Yep.
Now, from a game standpoint, well, the Knicks lost in 6 to the Pacers last year, so they won more than half the games necessary. Of the 16 they needed to win, they ended up winning 12, right? Or no, 10.
10.
You know, so that technically you were more than halfway. But as far as rounds are concerned, you're only halfway. You've got to win that series you didn't win, or that game you didn't win, and then move on and then win that game.
Yep.
And I know it's a different sport, but Wayne Gretzky always said there are 4 seasons in hockey. There's the preseason, there's the regular season, there's the playoffs, and then there's the final.
Yeah.
Like the final is different. So
that's
you make
2 weeks of just,
you make these runs. But then when you finally get to a place where it's you and the other team in the league, whether it's 32, whether it's 30, however many teams there are in the league, you're down to the last 2. Last 4, still a very small number, but still double.
It is funny.
It is a great take.
No, and the more you think about it, here's why I can relate to it recently. Don't get me wrong. I was absolutely on cloud 9 to have the Commies in the championship game. Cloud 9.
How'd that championship game go?
Well, not great.
Not
great, but not bad either.
But here's the thing, though. You know how different it hits when you make the Super Bowl? When you have the 2-week lead up and you're now that team? You realize that Jaden Daniels would be a markedly different human being right now had they won that game and had that whole 2 weeks as that team. It fundamentally changes you to make a final. Jalen Brunson will be a different guy if he is the guy who's leading this team in a final. It changes you in ways forever.
Think about this. In 99, that team got to the final. Now, they had no chance against that Spurs team that was on the beginning of a dynasty, right? And we knew that, especially without Patrick Ewing. With a healthy Patrick, they might have had a shot. But obviously without a healthy Patrick, they had no chance. But those guys, Sprewell, Houston, Larry Johnson, like they walk. They don't walk on the ground. They float in this city. All
and they
based
just made
on the
it.
fact that they made it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that run and what it meant and all that stuff. There is something about that. Now, I understand this because I got a lot of criticism yesterday because of Michael in Manhattan who wanted to wet blanket everything that's going on and nothing mattered.
But you had a great take. Not even a take, just a video of you being so disgusted.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
What was the feedback for that?
But the feedback was generally that, like, accepting, that it's just, like, oh, it's just good to be there and all that stuff, and as if we're trying to sell the fact that this is all in fun when it's not supposed to be fun. This is very serious business because it's been 53 years. I understand that. But there still is something about the journey and the stories and everything that goes with it. Yeah, of course you want to win the whole damn thing, but you know what, everybody? You got to get there first. You can't talk about winning a championship in the second round.
And also when
you get to the final, then we can talk about it. But you can't talk about that right now. What you got to talk about is how many series can you get through?
And
how
also,
many times can you get to the final? Because they haven't done that in 26 years.
But you were also disgusted by the fact that he hates the sport he's watching.
Clearly.
And also,
doesn't even think it's been fun.
And also disregarding the team that likely will be there, the Oklahoma City Thunder, that might be in the midst of the same dynasty we saw the Spurs back in 1999. So that's why this whole championship or bust, come on. If you take on the T-Wolves or the Lakers in the final, maybe it's a different story. But the Thunder, that's a whole other kettle of fish, so to speak. But there's a reason why. When you win the league championship series in baseball, when you win the championship game in the NFL, when you win the conference final in the NHL or the conference final in the NBA, they give you something, right?
You get a
Mets, if
trophy.
the Mets beat the Dodgers, they would have gotten the National League pennant. There'd be a banner at Citi Field for that.
Yep.
If the Knicks had won last year, there'd be a banner at the Garden, Eastern Conference champions.
Yep.
No, you don't get nothing for going 2 rounds.
No.
You know,
it's great,
that's the
but
thing.
you don't get anything.
So you won 2 rounds, big deal. Or you got to play in rarefied air. You got invited to the party. You got through the velvet ropes, but you're drinking your beer, leaning against the wall, not dancing with anybody. That's the difference. You're only halfway there.
You're in the VIP, but you're not in the champagne.
You got. Listen, it's 1979.
The Madonna Sabrina Carpenter party. You're not getting in that.
No.
You're not getting in that.
It's 1979. You get in the Studio 54, which is not nothing.
No,
it's not nothing.
Sheik got sent home.
That's right.
I mean, that's the level. But when they ask you got in the Studio 54, what did you do? I hung out by the bathroom and leaned against the wall and drank water. They'd be like, you weren't really.
You're not really there.
Good for you.
Right.
Yeah, you weren't there.
Did you see Michael Jackson?
Yeah. No, I didn't see
Brooke
him.
Shields there?
I heard he was there.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. See, so this is the fourth straight year they've advanced in the playoffs, right? We haven't seen that since
Which
the 90s.
is not nothing for
It's
sure.
not nothing
Yeah.
because 9 straight years Ewing did that in the 90s, and that's a special run. But Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson have been the key pieces in a team that has now advanced 4 straight years, which is, again, considering Knick history, recent history at least, that's a nice run. Carmelo Anthony can't say that.
Right.
Mari Stoudemire can't say that. But when Hart was asked about it, this is why I'm saying I think they get it. I think they're starting to understand it now. He was asked, what does that mean? That you've had this run now where you've won a playoff series, at least one playoff series every year. He said, not a damn thing, because that's not the goal. The goal isn't just to advance 1 or 2 series. This is a core, especially with Brunson, and Bridges is a part of it, Brunson and Hart. They've won a national championship. In fact, Brunson won 2. That's what they talk about. Is the end goal is not, hey, we got to the Sweet 16. No. It's we got to the championship.
Did you realize doing that twice in college, like that, winning that tournament?
Twice.
Where you have to keep winning?
Yeah.
And you did it twice?
Yeah.
All the way through?
Yeah.
Like that's 6 games. That's a
and
run.
in between, I think they got to the Sweet 16 and they were devastated.
Yeah,
like it was like this. It's like no, this ain't it.
That's a guy who's.
So you could say, wow, you had 3 years, you got at least to the Sweet 16. It's like they don't even talk about that year. But that's the whole point. Is you have to get there. You've always talked about like how you have to go through the pain of losing to learn how to win. This just might be that. And tonight is another great example of how locked in are you that it's. And as I've said this many times, this playoff run is not about the opponent you're playing. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the Sixers with or without Embiid now. I don't care if it's the Pistons later. I don't care if it's the Thunder later. This is always going to be now about the Knicks. What are you guys about right now, and how locked in can you be? Because I'll tell you what, the last 4 games, that's as locked in as I've seen a team, at least in New York, in a long time.
And as devastating it is to lose, the next time you get back, it hurts worse. I mean, I guarantee you, if we were to call, and unfortunately he's no longer with us, but like I had a relationship with Nick Mangold, 2010 hurt more than 2009. 2009, hey, you're happy to be there, great run. It took the Colts to bench their starters in the second half to get in the playoffs anyway. But then you go back the next year, that loss in Pittsburgh had to hurt way worse.
No, because
way
you're
worse.
You're like, if we ever get back, we know what to do, and we're going to do it. Then you got back, and you didn't do it.
That was Bart's thing. That was Bart's. Bart was the can't wait, because that can't wait moment wasn't just about beating the Patriots.
No, we're ready.
That was we just took out the team that everybody thought we couldn't beat.
We know.
Ain't nobody going to beat us now.
Yeah,
like that was their true feeling.
And I'm sure.
Still waiting.
As you said, Ewing was hurt in '99, but I bet you, as tough as it was to lose to the Rockets, especially in the way they lost, I'm sure '95 hurt way worse. Because now you're trying to go back, right? And that loss to the Pacers probably
that missed that
the finger roll.
And you knew that was because by then the Riley stuff was getting real, and that sense of that's it, like this is it. This was the run,
and you know what? It's also
that's
real.
Why '94 was the time, which is why I look at this. This is the time.
And don't you? And this is certainly a conversation, and we're having some technical difficulties with our phones. We apologize, and as soon as we get that up, we'll start taking your calls.
Start tweeting. I'll read them.
1-800-919-3776. But we do have social media. You can get in touch with us on Instagram, on X, if you want to be able to do that in the meantime. But it's just that. What's going to change if we don't win? Because losing in the final, maybe it's a little bit of a different story, especially if you lose to the Thunder, who would probably be a heavy favorite going in. At least right now, who knows? That could change. But Giannis, and where's he going to go, and what kind of changes you may make. Remember, this is a team that let go of their coach after losing in the 3rd round last year. So you wonder in that room, if we don't make it,
but here
who's here, who's gone, what kind of changes are going to be made again?
We've gotten to such a weird space, though, Because now that they've done what they've done, right, the possible outcomes change. So in the first round, we were discussing the Giannis possibilities.
Mhm.
And it was like, well, if they somehow lose this series, anything's on the table. Mike Brown could be out. Half the team could be out. Not only did not lose the series, they ended up dominating the second half of the series in historic fashion.
Right.
So now we're on to Series 2. I would basically say at this point, in my opinion, short of them losing 4 straight to Philly by 20 points a night, the Mike Brown being out, off the table. I would say it would require that would mean collapse, Don.
Well,
if they lose a series at this point, Mike Brown's not leaving.
I don't disagree with you, but you said something, and maybe we can go back and get it.
Go ahead.
Something very similar about Thibodeau last year.
I did.
Right, where you're like, oh, they win this series.
I did.
He could buy a house in New York. He's not
right.
going
I did.
anywhere.
Yes.
He ended up winning another round. They beat Boston. And he
but
still
this
was
is
out.
but this is
You never
year
know.
one, so I'm viewing it
No,
differently. right?
but I got it
100
wrong. It's
but-
different.
but it's-
it was just similar. That's why I brought it up.
No, you're right.
I agree with you.
By the way, we might have literally been sitting at Stout when I said it. I mean, it's on the tape.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
But now-
because it is just 1 year.
But what are the options?
But
now?
again, Giannis, that's been the conversation all year. If they come up short, are they going to go for Giannis? And you're not just getting Giannis. He's not a free agent. You're kind of blowing up your roster to get him.
Well, here's the
pretty
thing.
significant pieces that we're rooting for tonight in the game will be playing in Milwaukee.
They won't. And the interesting thing is, so let's assume for a second, and fans should not do this because we know how important every game is. Let's assume they win this series against Philadelphia, right? They get to Detroit. And they lose to Detroit 4-2, and it sort of looks like the regular season. Like Detroit really
Just
looks
took
like a better team
Took
than
it
the
to
Knicks.
him. Yeah.
I don't know. Does that make me immediately regret the thing I just said? And it's like, well, you made it that far, but you weren't able to compete with Detroit in the final? Because, Alan, wouldn't that be enough to mean that as glorious as this run has been, including 4 blowouts in a row, historic things we've never seen from the Knicks in the playoffs, if you seem completely outclassed by Detroit, don't you still have to go back to the drawing board and go, well, I guess this isn't enough? I know it's a hard conversation to have, but
I hate to cop out, but I'm going to cop out and say I got to see it.
I know.
I got to see what it looks like. Because right now, despite what we saw in the regular season, I got to keep going back to the fact that this isn't the same team.
I know. They don't look different, the same at all.
I'm trying to explain it. I can't. And it's just, I feel, look, we all walk this line. I'm sure Michael deals with this on a daily basis. Don, you as well. We walk this line of, like, I have to give honest analysis. And there are times where my analysis is going to sound like homerism.
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing, it's just, like in New York, we tend to do this thing where we just always have to be tough. And, the easiest thing to do is be negative and critical because I'll sound smart enough if I'm right. And if I'm wrong, well, everybody's happy anyway.
Right.
But that's not really the case here. I'm telling you, whatever has happened since the end of the last week of the regular season, and especially since Game 3 of that Hawks series, I don't know what happened. But I do know that I've never seen an offense like that wearing orange and blue. Not like that. And especially this group. I've never seen Brunson in a chance where it's always going to be clear out, ISO, end of the half, I'll get you a hero ball shot, gives up the ball and does a Steph Curry runaround, and the ball ends up back in his hands. I've never seen that. I have not seen anything like this, which is why the Detroit thing doesn't seem like it's the same thing.
Right.
As what we saw during the regular
so it
season.
doesn't make sense to
the
go.
The offense can't possibly get that bogged down.
But
because of the way it's run now versus the way it was being run during the season.
The overall point is those guys preparing for the game tonight can make this all moot. Go out there and just continue to play the way you've been playing. Don't play with your food. Don't let Philadelphia back in the series.
Yeah.
And that will be the conversation for them and a conversation for us moving forward. Again, we're working on the phones, 1-800-919-3776.
At Alan Hahn on Twitter. I'll read them.
Alan Hahn, at Don LaGreca, at Pidto Rosenberg, for sure. What is it?
It's Rosenberg Radio, but I don't even have it on my phone anymore, so don't waste your time.
Oh, wow. Smart.
Oh, you know what?
I'm almost – I tell you what.
I took Twitter off my phone.
When the playoffs are over, I might do that.
Yeah, I can't.
I might do that.
And today, Instagram just took 4,000 followers from me for no reason,
Well,
so I'm out on all of it.
I also very interesting.
Check this.
Very interesting tweet from Ice-T. I'll bring that up.
Well, not only that, speaking of beverages, I have to give Alan Hahn an update about what happened at lunch today.
Yeah, we've got to talk about that. We had a business lunch, Peter and I. And
now I know what this is about. And I'm really excited to hear about it.
Anthony Pusick as well, part of it was like one of those business lunches they'd have back in Manhattan in 1967.
I'm so mad I missed
Yeah,
this.
very interesting stuff.
Killing heaters.
Monica McNutt.
I missed out on that too.
At 4 o'clock. Damn. Bill Pidto at 4:30. Take you up until 6 o'clock, and then it's Knicks basketball. Don Hahn and Rosenberg live from Stout here on ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over, Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This month, it's time to saddle up for some big wins with our $65,000 Winner's Circle drawing. Be here every Friday in May between 4 and 6 p.m. when 4 winners will be drawn every hour to win $250 free play. At 7 p.m., 4 winners will join the Winner's Circle to win $2,500 cash. Ride your winning streak where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
This is the Michael K. Show.
I hate to say it because I don't want to start a fight with my wonderful co-hosts who listen to the show. A lot of you people, man, really down on Cashman for years. Really down on him. Guy's a really good GM. I know he hasn't given you the championship you want, so I understand the angst. But for those that paint him as a guy who knows nothing, he is a really good GM.
The Michael K. Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
No matter your age or career stage, SUNY Canton delivers education at the speed of life. With flexible, fully online degree programs, you can earn your credential on your schedule. Ready to get started? Apply now for a summer start in high-demand programs like applied psychology, cybersecurity, healthcare management, and more. Our admissions team is ready to help you review transfer credits, explore degree options, choose courses, and navigate every step of enrollment. Email admissions@canton.edu today or visit canton.edu to learn more.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Harry Douglas here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
The Knicks are one step closer to their ultimate goal.
The Knicks beat the Hawks 140-89 and win this first-round series in 6.
Will this be the year the Knicks punch their ticket to the NBA Finals?
Brunson right wing, walks into his 3. That's good. Rebound, Towns, and the putback is good. It's a Towns takeover here in the third quarter.
Thanks to all our New York Knicks partners this season, including New York Presbyterian, NYC Department of Corrections, Boost Mobile, and the Parisman Firm on ESPN New York.
Now, I'll tell you something right now, guys. Welcome back to Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on ESPN New York. And FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game 21 and over, physically present in New York. First online, real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
I just was looking up the Ice-T tweet so I can read it.
Yeah.
And I remember I got all excited that he follows me.
Yeah,
I just noticed I wasn't following him.
What are you doing?
So that's kind of a money move, but now I'm following.
You hit the follow button.
I did hit the follow.
Now now the next thing that now comes is the conversation. So when are you going to call into the show?
So obviously Ice-T's going through some stuff we've all gone through because one of his tweets yesterday, I'll never understand why people that hate my guts follow me. Great question. But the one that caught my eye was earlier last night when he tweeted, I've got a great idea. Let's rename this app to Hate.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about that when you were talking about
He's not wrong.
Not having it on your phone.
So stupid.
It's like, who needs all of that hate? But
well, it's the worst one.
Or just just angry people.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Instagram, there is at least, and it has its problems, but Instagram, at least a lot of the posts on there are just like happy stuff. Look at my dog. Look at this. Yeah, it's people showing off, and people use it in an unhealthy way, I think. But not everything is like negative. Like so much of Twitter
it's usually more like entertainment, like something funny.
And your algorithm might be all entertainment. Like my wife's algorithm is literally all ideas for baby stuff, all different things that actually impact her life positively.
Yeah, my algorithm tells on me all the time.
It will let you know.
It does tell on you.
But Twitter is different. No matter who you are on Twitter, I think it's hard to live that way now.
It forces you with things, right? Like to me, it forces things on you that
dude.
I'm like, I don't even want this. Why are you sending this to me?
Exactly. There are literally people I do not want to see, and it keeps showing you for you.
Yeah.
And showing me stuff I don't want. Now, what was for Don at lunch?
Yeah. What?
We had a nice early lunch. Because Don came in early, didn't have any traffic.
You guys were very early. I was quite tardy, and I apologize.
Well, no, I didn't know I'd be this early, but it just worked out.
You being early is the upset.
That's why
the one nobody
celebrate
saw.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the celebration.
Yes.
So we went over to Bar Pregame here, a lovely Italian restaurant down the street. And we followed up on yesterday's conversation, and Donald Marco LaGreca had his first ever margarita at lunch.
Oh!
Breaking news here, folks. A margarita was had by Don.
Now, since this is up your alley, what exactly did I drink?
I asked if they – well, first of all, I'm always wary of margaritas at Italian restaurants. Because Italian, I think wine and sort of
you
dark.
think bottle of red, bottle of white.
Bottle of red, bottle of white, if you will. Or like I'll just do like a whiskey on the rocks, that kind of thing.
Sure.
I said, but Bar Pregame is a big bar, like that you could tell is like it's a scene there.
Yeah.
So I asked, and they said, it's our number one bartender is on. They can do everything you want.
Nice.
I said, how about a little spicy marg with salt, a little salted rim? So that's what we did.
Spicy
a little spicy margarita
you like
with
the
salted
spicy
rim.
marg?
And
I wanted to go spicy. I like spicy.
I gave him the option because I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Don, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was good. Now, it's not an old-fashioned.
Okay.
But I thought it was refreshing, and it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I could have done without the salt because I tried it with the salt. He told me, and I didn't feel it enhanced the experience.
It was a bit much. I didn't actually
just drank
like
the other side. They only had it on the one side of the glass, so I just drank it on the other side. But it was refreshing. If I had the choice, I would probably still go old-fashioned over margarita.
But do you see
I'm
why
not
if you
going to
were
say no if it's offered now.
But do you see why if you were sitting outside down the shore, let's say, on an August night, why that can kind of hit in a different way than a bourbon-based drink? It's got the refreshing
Especially,
vibes.
listen, it was a rainy day. But it's afternoon. It's kind of light. Although we ate pretty heavy, but it was still light fare.
We had you missed a hell of a
It really was.
I'm
It was a great
I'm
experience.
totally regretting it.
And
I had a great lunch here at Stout, though. I did have that.
they did you right here.
Yes.
But so old fashioned would probably be something I would have for dinner.
Yeah.
But the margarita. So the next time that I'm out and it's offered, I'm not going to feel I'm ready.
See, and by the way, so when Don becomes a full-on raging alcoholic, it'll be that he has a margarita for breakfast or old-fashioned for dinner, goes straight on the air.
I try not to drink during the week.
Yeah, I understand.
But when offered, I don't exactly
I'm
abstain.
talking about future Don. This is 70-year-old Don.
When it gets away. At some point, it's going to get away.
Old-fashioned is a Friday night. Margarita is a Sunday afternoon.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
When
that's a good weekend.
When the kids are married off and Nancy finally comes to her senses, I'll probably start drinking heavily.
And you're by
now
yourself.
I've got options.
And Nancy's like, all right, I got everything I needed out of you.
Yeah, exactly. The kids are at empty nest. Get the hell out. And
Don will be watching Mama's Family, 3 bourbons on a Wednesday.
Mama's Family.
And I've always envisioned that day because the day will come and it'll be, a TV working on top of a broken TV, and I've got a lawn chair instead of a couch. And there's empty containers of Chinese food all over the place. Now I can add to that fantasy margarita during the day and old-fashioned at night. But unfortunately, where I will be financially.
This is Vape Ape Don.
Yeah, that would be my version of.
Cigars are back, by the way. And the Doritos, the size of his head.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Remember the pillow bag?
This is what
I would get bags of Doritos that were like a pillowcase.
This is why we need to get back on television. Because it's moments like this when Yes would have pulled out the old footage of Don with that Doritos bag that was literally, it took up the entire screen. I've never seen a bag.
I loved Yes. I'm hoping the next television outlet likes me. Because Yes didn't have it.
No, they kept on file every way to embarrass you possible.
We're going to need to get all those files and transfer them over.
One time,
oh my God, this is bad.
I leaned back. I had an itch in my stomach. So my belly was exposed. That was the regional.
Forgot you were on television.
It was all trying to make Michael look better.
No. What about when they got me? What about when they got me vaping in the Vape Ape days?
Oh yeah.
So I'm in my bad space.
Caught you doing that.
They caught me coming out of break, and you see me looking up and catching it and they showed it in slow motion replay.
And all in an effort to try to make Michael look better.
You think that's all that was about? They never caught Michael in a moment?
I don't think they disliked us. They just loved
No,
themselves.
that's Michael sliding a check to Anthony Greek on the
all
side.
Right,
that's what that
Big
was?
4 o'clock hour.
Right.
Monica McNutt, Bill Pidto, Don Hahn and Rosenberg live from Stout. Getting you ready for Knicks and Sixers Game 2 at the Garden here on ESPN New York.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joinDOC or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Register today to take the test.
I'm a dog, and my job is to make you happy. So I recommend Optimum Fiber for your home. It's famously fast, way better than flaky 5G home internet, which can slow down the more people or dogs are online. So switch to Optimum Fiber, starting at only $25 a month with a 5-year price lock. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. That's 888-4-OPTIMUM. Gus, fetch! I gotta take that. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Mother's Day is coming, and you gotta show love to the mothers in your life. Between my mom and my wife, who is now a first-time mom, I got a lot of appreciation I need to show. So yeah, Mother's Day matters, and you gotta get it right. That's why I'm sending farm fresh flowers from the Books Company. Right now, get 25% off with my code Canty. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. They've got incredible flowers. Some are even growing on the side of a volcano. And the best part, Books makes it easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. No last-minute panic. That's why Books has over 55,000 five-star reviews. With 25% off using code Canty, grab flowers for your mom, your wife, and grandma too. Mother's Day is May 10th, so don't wait. Go to Books.com, use code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, use code Canty. Books.com, code Canty.
Rich Eisen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payments sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey because it's game time, fellas.
It's Charlie time.
All the time.
It's Tully time.
Game 2 coverage of Knicks Sixers immediately following us on 880 starting at 6. The Mets face the Rockies in Colorado, and you can hear that game on 1050 starting at 8:30. And the Yankees continue their series with the Rangers at 7:05. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. It's 4 o'clock. It's Wednesday. That means the Monica McNutt Report, which is brought to you by Calandra's Bakery and BetMGM. Monica McNutt, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good. You know, it's not the same without you. It's nice to have you here with a big cake in front of you, but we're going to make this work.
That was a special event. But
That was very special.
We have learned now that to get you to come here, we have to have cake.
A Calandra's cake has to be here.
The next time we're here, we're going to have a cake. That's confirmed.
I mean, our relationship in this capacity is only a couple of months old. So I'm glad that we're understanding the boundaries from the
There
jump.
you
Your cake is great.
You know what? That's right. That's the
Well
boundary.
The way to her heart
is cake.
Is the sweet tooth.
Well, it keeps getting more and more interesting for the Knicks, Monica. Now they get ready for Game 2, and Embiid is out. So how does this change the outlook of what you expect now in Game 2?
Man, how about that piece of news, right? Don, here's the thing. I think it's a little bit of a trapdoor, if you will. If you look at the course of the regular season, Tyrese Maxey averaged, I wrote it down somewhere, but it's pretty close to 30. Like, he was great on his own. And frankly, that's the team that I would imagine that most of these guys are most comfortable with, because that's the team that they played with most of the season, a team that didn't include all three, Maxey, Embiid, and George. I personally remember the 2 trips when the Knicks were here, and Embiid played in only one of those. But Paul George was a terrific defender. I remember Wally and I discussing, Paul George looking great and, how talented he still is at his age in one of those wins. And then in the other win where there was an Embiid presence, he had 26 points here at the Garden. So I think it's a little bit of a trapdoor because he is a former MVP. He has a presence on that team. He makes life very difficult. But we have seen through the course of the year that the Knicks have struggled with athleticism and speed, which is still very much present on this roster. Now, is as much basketball smarts and experience there? No. But Tyrese Maxey has been in this moment. And B.J. Edgecombe has played bigger than a rookie to me. And if Kelly Oubre gets going, and Paul George has been rolling through this postseason, he's been playing very well. So I still think it's a little bit tricky. But the Knicks are playing great ball, and I would expect them to win tonight without Embiid.
Yeah, I'm glad you finished with that thought, Monica, because you were sending me down a really negative path. And I was getting wait a second, let's not get crazy. Because I want to know from you, from everything you've seen and heard from this team through that Hawks series and even after Game 1, because we keep talking about the team they have been in the past where they – they do not handle prosperity well, right? They do, but
right.
Has this team finally learned? Deuce has talked about we've been through these wars, we've been through all this stuff. Jalen's talked about that. Josh Hart has talked about it. How much experience they have together in what they've learned from the past of their mistakes and things that they've done, games they've given away. Do we have enough confidence yet in this team to believe that I think that's in the past, and I think tonight that won't be the issue?
Yes, Hahn, but I think for me...
That's not convincing me. That is not
Listen, hear me out. Hear me out, y'all. Let me finish. Yes, I do think that this team has turned a corner in terms of veteran experience and leadership, right? But I also think, come on, y'all, like, if we all friends and homies, like, you still got to know your personnel. We could be growing up and still be susceptible to maybe taking a minor step back. Like, that's just the human nature of all of this, right? Who doesn't get a little bit high-minded after you've had 3 consecutive playoff games where you knocked off teams by 35 points or more? Like, they are rolling at a high level. And so for me, I'm very cautious of pride coming before a fall. Do I think that this group has matured? Yes. Do I see where their veteran poise is really shining through? Do I believe Deuce McBride and Josh Hart when they talk about we got to stay locked in? Yeah, but you don't know you're not locked in until you're looking at the scoreboard in the last 2 minutes and are in a jam. So all I'm saying is everyone should stay on high alert, and that is maybe less to do with Philly to me and more to do with the grand goal in this thing. The more aware and attentive you are, the more sharp you are, the more prepared you are, the better equipped you are for whatever may come at you. Has this team proven that they're the most talented team remaining in the Eastern Conference offensively and defensively to me? Yes. But we all know it's not about talent on a given game opportunity. It's about who's able to execute and who's able to respond. Have they shown me an ability to execute and respond? Yes. But does each game present a different challenge? For sure. Do I think Nick Nurse is an outstanding coach? Absolutely. You throw in his personal stuff, which my heart goes out to him and his family, but does this look like a setup for a team that's galvanized behind their coach dealing with the loss in his family and Tyrese Maxey being set free again? And who has performed well at the Garden? This has Trap all over it to me.
I totally agree with you, Monica. And it creates so many different things mentally for the Knicks because you can easily fall asleep on your own. Like you were just mentioning, like all of the things that could be going into the Sixers mindset. But from the Knicks mindset, you've crushed in 4 straight games. You're now down their best player. It's very easy this game to start reading your own press clippings a little bit, and then instead of having the Sixers completely taken out of the series come 10 p.m. tonight, instead you're going back after giving away home court. So it becomes a huge game in that regard.
Thank you. I'm glad that somebody feels like I'm not being too much of a Debbie Downer. Like
no.
I just want to keep it a buck. That's where I am, right? Like that's my love language. What's up? Tell me the good, tell me the bad, tell me the indifferent. But let's talk it all through so that we can be aware. I don't want no surprises. Now, what I will say to that end, Hahn, if they come out and this is a strong 15-point lead that never really felt like a game, I will be impressed. I will give them their flowers. Tomorrow morning, I will be talking about how this team is continuing to grow in real time to a place we have not yet seen them effectively be able to stay. Like during the course of the regular season, we all saw the high highs, and then we all saw some low lows. But if they could give me 5 straight games of dominance, like we are starting to enter a territory where you really have to talk about this team as a favorite to come out of the East and put them in the class with the other 2 teams in the Eastern or in the Western Conference that ended their series early. But you still got to show me because I know y'all. Y'all like my knucklehead little cousins. I want to pull your ears and smack you in the back of the head sometimes because you do some dumb shit after you've been great.
See, that's why we asked what we asked here, because you have the right amount of caution, because that's, again, this is who you are, and until you prove otherwise, we're always going to feel like you're going to regress to that at the worst of times or the perfect time, which is right now. Of course this screams trap game. The minute that Embiid news came out, that's exactly what it screamed, trap game. And that's why I asked you what I asked you, because you would think by now this team, meaning the Knicks, would know this is also – they'd know the same thing we're thinking. Okay, this is a trap game. And maybe make you lock in a little more, not less. Not think this is going to be easier, but think, wait a second, now this changes our game plan because we can't put him in actions now. We can't take advantage of him in drop coverage. Like now we really have to try something different, which that's why I mean like this would be the time if you were going to say we're not that team anymore. Tonight's that night to do that. I think it almost puts a little extra in that locker room more than maybe if it was a regular straight-up Game 2 with Embiid in the lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think as I'm sitting back and diagnosing this, there are some players where we don't have to worry about them locking in. But it really only takes 1 or 2 to be less than for this team to regress back to its mean. Now, to be fair, its mean is still a very good team. But this high, just from a statistical standpoint, there is some wonder how long the numbers they're putting up right now can be sustained.
60-50 games
but I agree with you. Yeah, right? Like, I agree with you that it is an impressive opportunity to go back to New York 2-0 with an Embiid that is battling, quite honestly, the schedule as much as he's battling against the Knicks themselves, like that would be a big step. And I think, again, everybody keeps asking about this being the year as you look at how things are shaking out. I go back to what most of those guys shared with me in October, and nobody's putting more pressure on them than they are on themselves, which I can really appreciate from a lot of them. But in the same breath, they are the ones that are out there, and a 7-game series is long. So if it went 1-1, it's not the end of the world. But if they approached that as it could be the end of the world and had the necessary urgency that we continue to talk about being really hard to manufacture unless you are actually in that position, that will be impressive and show a tremendous level of growth. I will be thrilled if that's the commentary that we're having post-game.
And that's what I'm saying, and I think Peter and Alan agree. You're not wrong that it could happen, but there's two reasons why I think it would be inexcusable if it did. One is, what have you accomplished that you have the right to do that? And the other thing is, you're kind of known for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, all the more reason to not let it happen. So it can happen, Monica, you're right, but I won't excuse it if it does. Because it's not just a loss. It's now losing home court advantage. It's now letting them back in the series. And you know Embiid probably plays in this game if it's a Game 7. Like, the Sixers are looking at this like, all right, we're down 2-0, so what? They held serve. He wants to be ready for those games in Philadelphia. Don't give
100%.
them life. Don't give them life.
Right.
100%. So I think we all agree, though, and I guess so now the next thing is, like, what does that look like, right? You know Tyrese Maxey is going to be a handful, and I think Mikal Bridges is someone that we probably haven't talked about enough in terms of actually showing up as a defender. Even if you go back to Atlanta, like, I don't say Nickeil Alexander-Walker just had an off series. I think Mikal Bridges was 100% a part of that, right? So he's the first guy, first line of defense. Then we heard Mike Brown say before Game 1 that Maxey is not a guy that you guard with one person. Like, all 5 sets of eyes are going to be looking toward him, so you got to make sure that you're locked in terms of your rotations. The other thing, y'all, is just because Embiid is not there does not necessarily mean that this is not a formula in which Cap might struggle in terms of avoiding getting into foul trouble. Because you'll probably see a combination of Paul George, Adem Bona, even some Kelly Oubre guarding him. And while he has the size advantage there, he's got to make sure he's playing more like Atlanta and not reverting to anything else silly, right? Because that's when the super fouls come into play. And because he has been so impactful, he's got to stay on the floor in this series. I still say that McBride has a big-time opportunity in this series. And I think even though there will not be the target of Embiid, I think the Knicks still have to look to play downhill in that pick and roll, and just put pressure on this Philly defense. Like, exhaust them on that side of the basketball and make them defend multiple actions, because your good shot selection is going to be your first line of defense with a team that has 2 guards that just want to rip it and run it. So you got to make sure that ball at least goes through the net to give yourself a chance to slow those guys up.
All right, if you were to, at this moment, guess, sweep, more likely sweep for the Knicks still, or were to go 6, what would be your pick?
Monica said 7. Her prediction is
I said 7, so I'm 6.
So you still you think
6.
more likely this series goes deep than anything, and still feel that way right now?
You gotta get me to 3-0, Rosenberg, before I'm gonna feel like, okay. Like, you just do. Like, and part of it, y'all, and this, I will admit, this might be the first time that I'm too close for my own good.
Yeah.
Because
you have trust
I've
issues.
No, you sound. It's a little bit of I'm not saying this at all to question your professionalism, which we know is the highest level, but you are giving a little bit of emotional. You're too close to it. You've been into some degree through what the fans have, because you sound like our callers.
And you want to hear a funny story? When Monica first came to New York all those years ago and was doing some of the post games with us before she became a huge star. She was still just toiling with Wally, myself, and Bill.
That's right.
And we did, I believe it was the Atlanta series, right, Monica? It probably was that.
Yeah.
And we, like, it's for all of us, because it had been the first time in years making the playoffs.
This is the Trae Young series.
Like, yes. And so, like, Bill is, as we know, he is very emotional. Wally and I get fired up because of the competition aspect of it and the X's and O's and what you're supposed to do, how do you win, and don't make mistakes. So we're really intense. And she's just chilling. Like, it's the playoffs. This is fun. Isn't this great? I don't understand.
It's not a Hoyas game, for God's sake.
She laughed at us about how intense we would be with these games. And we all said, you're here for a year. Give it a couple of years. You'll see. Now listen to her. She's one of us now.
It does feel that way.
You are one of us now, Mom, whether you like it or not.
You guys, it's prophetic. I 100% expect the Knicks to get out of this series. what it looks like is going to be the thing that we're talking about for years to come, quite frankly, because it is a hell of an opportunity this particular season.
Let me ask you, for about tonight's game in particular, not the whole series, but in particular tonight, if there's one player that you're like, you are the one that can't have a little drop-off or whatever they end up doing because they don't have Embiid could change the way they're defending. You're a guy that I need you staying locked in. Who's the guy?
Oh, that's a great question. The first answer that came to my head was JB, but then the second answer rationally that I'm looking at, because he's been so good in these playoffs and maybe still has not gotten all the credit he deserves, is OG Anunoby. Typically, when Jalen plays well, typically the team follows, but I fully expect Nurse and company to mix it up tonight. So if he does not have a tremendous scoring game, but can be smart with the basketball, limit turnovers, and isn't getting crushed defensively, and you get another flirting between 25 and 30 efficient performance from OG Anunoby, which is just quietly what he's been doing. He's shooting 60% from the three-point line. Like, if he's still steady and the scoring is there and the rebounding, like, I think the rest of those guys figure it out. But I do think he's been such a tremendous constant this postseason.
That's her nickname. Everybody calls her Mon.
Yeah, she goes by.
I'm out of the loop.
You're not into Mon?
I just loved when she went Auntie Mon and just started talking about how, like, the Knicks, you always do this and all this stuff, and I want to smack you in the back of the head. Like,
Well, no,
that's
that is
the emotion you're talking about.
Yeah, but that is when she says that I won't believe it till they're up 3-0. That means, like a lot of fans, she does not have faith that on a night like tonight, when a serious team would finish the Sixers off, she understandably is like, let me see it. Because I've seen this team turn it off before.
I told you what the number was. 5 times they've had home court advantage. They've won game 1, right? 5 times.
Right.
They have lost game 2 3 times.
But
makes you crazy, doesn't it?
But bringing that up tells you that there is no change. But the 4-game winning streak, and especially the way they won the last 3, tells you that maybe that's old news.
Right, that's what you want to see.
But we don't completely buy it because the sample size is still too small in the affirmative. Here's the other thing I wanted to bring up. We lost Monica, but she did a great job, and let's give her the rest of the day off. And so I have to let you know that the Monica McNutt report
I see what you
by
did.
Calandra's
Nice.
Bakery. Calandra's Bakery, just 4 simple ingredients and still made by hand since 1962, available fresh daily at your local supermarket. And BetMGM, own your moment, make it legendary. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Nick Nurse, in case you missed it, he lost his brother. I guess it was a little while ago.
Last week.
Yeah,
but I was 62. It was sudden.
During the off day was when, I guess, with the funeral was yesterday.
Funeral was in Iowa. He went right to Iowa to be there for the funeral, and then obviously came back to New York.
Now,
but they
obviously, that's
practiced
a
with
little far away, so I don't know how many people within the organization went with him. But what it kind of reminded me of, and if you're looking for something to worry about, like will it galvanize the Sixers? The first thing that came to mind when you were telling me the story yesterday was what the Rangers went through when they were down 3-1 to Pittsburgh, and Martin St. Louis' mom
Mother's
died
Day.
suddenly on Mother's Day. And the whole team went to the funeral because it was in Montreal. It was somewhat close. And they went and they talked to a man about how that brought them together. They win the next 3 games. They win the series, and they end up going to the Stanley Cup final. I don't know. Well, you wonder about those things. It is coincidence, right? Would it have happened anyway? It's like so easy after the fact to say that's what brought the team together. But another thing to, I guess, be a little concerned about, I'm sure they have feelings for their coach, especially loses his brother suddenly. Even though it was last week, he's got to go away to be with the family. You wonder if that's something that can kind of bring a room together. The adversity of losing your best player, your coach going through something emotionally, little things that you wonder can bring a team together in a game like tonight.
It's all part of the story, of course, but again, I just keep bringing it back, and you heard Monica say it as well, is I think a lot of what happens from here on out is less about what goes on with the opponent and more about what's happening in that Knick locker room. What Mike Brown is doing to make adjustments, what these players are doing to make sure they stay locked in and they don't have these fall-off games, these fall-off performances, or even blown leads late, which is really the reason why they lost Game 2 to Atlanta. They just thought they were in control, and they got complacent. complacency is probably the greatest weakness of this team in the postseason. So you don't allow that to happen. And, of course, you should stay in control. That's really what it's about. Are they going to have poor shooting nights? That does happen. That does happen on a random night. You're just not going to – for whatever reason, open threes are not going down. It doesn't mean you can't continue to play defense at a high level and all the other stuff that you're doing. But the complacency thing is what Monica was talking about and what the rest of us keep talking about, is that we think it's behind them, but we don't know for sure. In situations like this are the reasons why or why not.
And listen, let's not be arrogant enough to say they can't be beaten. I mean, sometimes you're just beaten. Of course.
Yes.
The other team's better on that given day.
Right.
Now, I don't believe that was the case in the 2 losses against Atlanta. I put that on them. But there are going to be nights where, you know what, just it isn't falling. And we can't just always excuse every loss and blame them for not being engaged or playing with their food, as Peter likes to say. Sometimes you just get beat.
And we have over, I think what was it, game 3. No. Which one did they – it was 3 when they came back and lost at the buzzer, right?
They had the terrible first quarter and had to chase the scoreboard, came back, took the lead, and then ended up losing the game in the last minute.
That one's the one to me that they lost in the series. Because a lot of people were saying they didn't lose any in the series because really the way they lost 2 was fluky. But when you really look at Game 3, they were losing most of that game. They came back, made a run of it, then came up short. I would say that is one game they lost.
Yeah, but that's been their ballywick, too. I mean, that's how they won the Boston series, falling behind early and
yes,
back.
That's a great point.
I mean, that's kind of who they are. So,
but not recently.
But I do feel like sometimes, as much as we can be negative to say that they've got to prove to us that they're not going to, daydream about advancing, that that they aren't capable of just losing a game too. Like, not everything is going to fall on, well, we didn't get beat, we beat ourselves kind of thing. Now we're sounding like the players. Like, they just wanted it more than we did or whatever. Sometimes you just get beat. Just don't allow that to happen. Programming alert. Game 2 of the Knicks Sixers will be immediately following us right here on 880 ESPN New York, and all the games can be streamed on ESPN New York's app. Today's Mets-Rockies game can be heard on 1050, and that coverage will begin after 8 o'clock. So that's what we have going on right now. We're at Stout on 35th between 7th and 8th, just down the street from the Garden. It was raining before. I don't know if it's cleared up, but it's not as rainy as it was earlier. But still, why sit outside? Come in.
Yes.
Hang out with us. We're going to be here until 6 o'clock, and then Pat O'Keefe's going to take over for the pregame for the 7 o'clock tip for this big Game 2 at Madison Square Garden. We'll talk a little Yankees a little bit later on as well. We're going to have an abbreviated ENN at 5:50, but at some point, we've been told that Bill Pidto is going to join us. He's a gem.
Just texted me, walking over now.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
On his way.
So he should be here by the time we get back.
Get ready for it.
I dare him to be here by the time we get back.
7 minutes, Pidto. Let's go.
Don Hahn and Rosenberg hanging out with you until 6 o'clock on ESPN New York.
Bigger facilities, faster lines, and more preservatives? While the world automated, Calandra stayed at the counter. At Calandra's Bakery, they stick to the basics. Real people, real ingredients, and real messy counters. Calandra's bread is all natural with 0 preservatives, just 4 simple ingredients doing their thing, which means it might not last as long as the others, but that's kind of the point. Flavor like theirs doesn't come from a factory. Calandra's Bakery, still made by hands, not robots, since 1962.
It's the playoffs. Knicks fans, get in on all the postseason action with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and make every matchup mean more than ever with the best daily promotions in the business. Plus, enjoy thousands of casino games with BetMGM Casino in New Jersey. Download today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over. Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for Game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car
carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today.
Chris Canty here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that your fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Now, Sail GP is the ultimate race on water where international teams go head-to-head.
Say it right.
In F-50 catamarans flying at over 60 miles per hour.
Wow.
Not sipping margaritas on this thing. It's
No.
going 60 miles per hour. Think you know who's going to take the win in Bermuda? Make your pick on the ESPN New York app, and you'll be entered to win an exclusive meet and greet with Sail GP athletes at their team base at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix.
Look at this guy.
Make your pick now and get
done.
closer to the action with Sail GP. Sail GP, high speed, high stakes, the ultimate race on water, landing in New York May 30th and 31st. 1-800-919-3776. We've been told that the phones are back.
Yes.
So we can line up the phone calls. Apparently, Pidto was walking from Jersey City. He's not here
No,
yet.
he's not
No.
walking from Jersey City.
When you say I'm walking, I'm on my way. The garden's a stone's throw away.
But he's got little legs. He's a wee little man.
Now,
I wouldn't go with
who
wee.
deserves to be attacked?
Well, no, both of you are bad
I mean,
guys.
I was being playful. He went right after the size of his legs.
Well, I mean, it takes him a little extra time.
There he is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Pidto.
See, though, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I just want you to know, Bill, I am the only one of the three hosts who didn't disparage you in the last 30 seconds. Welcome to the show.
No, in full disclosure, I just said, where's he walking from Jersey City? And then Alan went right after the size of your legs, which I would never do.
It just takes you a little longer to get places.
Well, we had a little bit of a problem in the offices.
Oh, no. What happened?
Smoke alarm.
Oh, no.
Seriously.
Oh,
back
no.
first
Were you
time
smoking
ever,
again?
No.
Smoking heaters before the game.
First time ever we had to actually evacuate the floor.
Really?
No issue, thankfully, but it delayed the schedule, so to speak. But I'm here on time.
That's right. You damn right you are.
Actually, it is
Right,
4:30.
right,
He did say
right on the
4:30.
dot.
See that?
Nicely done.
So what's up? Good to see you guys.
What was your reaction when you saw the Embiid news earlier today? Was it shock? Was it were you surprised or were you concerned? Where are you at?
Where are we? Like, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but what's up with since when is there an ankle issue? I mean, we saw him get hit in the knee.
Well, he's the operation game,
right?
Like it's all there for him.
Well, it feels like it's strategic, right?
You guys, is that what you guys have been
Well,
talking about?
I think he's banged up. He wants to be fresh for the games in Philly because as big as a win would be for the Knicks tonight, all they did was hold serve, right? If Philly's got any chance in this series, they've got to have a healthy Embiid. So I think it's more strategic. If this was an elimination game, I think he's playing, right?
That's what I think.
We were talking, defensively, they actually might improve now.
Well, because of the drop coverage
right?
issue.
Because he's such a liability. Because whatever Brunson wants to do off that pick and roll, he was able to do. Because Embiid just can't move. Now, can Adem Bona do a better job on defense?
Listen, when
Andre Drummond's not the most mobile guy in the world,
He's
right?
not. Now, remember, before Embiid got into this series with the Celtics, they were down 2-1, and then he played in Game 4, and they were down 3-1.
Right.
Because in Game 4, they did the exact same thing the Knicks did in Game 1. They put him in pick and roll, and he got murdered.
Right. So they won Game 2, Allen, right?
They won Game 2 without him.
Yes. After losing Game 1
by 30.
Right.
So very similar situations, which is why everybody should be on alert when it comes to the Knicks on their side of it. But I don't know if I'm buying the idea that they're better without him because they couldn't beat Boston. They couldn't beat Boston without him, and then they smoked Boston with him. They went into Boston in Game 7 and won because the Celtics couldn't figure it out and couldn't guard him.
You look back at the Celtics series. Why couldn't they run some of the pick-and-roll action that the Knicks did so effectively in Game 1?
Because Joe Mazzulla's a joke.
Well, no, they did. They did it in Game 4. Things changed in the coverages. I can't explain it, but the heavy reliance that the Celtics had on the three-point shot is what did them in more than anything that the Sixers did, and I believe that the Knicks aren't really built like that.
So I don't. You guys have been talking. As someone that's been watching, obviously, and grateful to have the opportunity to watch this team all the time. It's been the way they've started these games to me that has been. We're all talking about the offense going through Cat and the Cat assist, but to me, their defense has demoralized the opposition here in the last handful of games.
We don't talk enough about it,
and it's led to transition buckets that gets him off to a great rhythm, and I think that's really contributed here to what we've seen.
It's almost as if I said this the other day. What's made the Knicks special during this run, Bill? It seems like they're just kind of doing the things that every basketball coach from the time you're 8 years old tells you to do. Play defense as hard as you can, get up, get moving, up and down the floor. Oh, by the way, pass the ball, you'll get your shots. That kind of seems to be a relatively simple mentality that has worked out for them much better than when they have a tendency, and they can fall into this pattern, hopefully they don't tonight, of just Brunson ball. Let's just give it to Jalen and watch.
They had 34 assists in Game 1.
Right.
I mean, when they have assist totals like that, and it just goes to show you that whatever they're doing differently offensively, and we're all trying to figure it out schematically, why has this been so effective? I think, Allen's made the point that they're hitting their shots. Everything looks good when you're hitting your shots. And the efficiency of the starters, in particular in Game 1, in terms of their shooting percentage, was just off the charts.
Yeah.
You got Anunoby 7 for 8, Brunson 12 out of 18.
Bridges was 7 for 10.
Right. And Cat, is passing the ball and hasn't had to take a lot of shots. 32 assists for Cat in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do you ever think – I've been sort of obsessed with this topic. I may be the only one. I find it fascinating, Bill, that Karl Anthony Towns is sitting somewhere between he could end up in Milwaukee next year or he could end up a Knicks legend. Like, isn't it kind of all sitting there in front of us right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. And now he's embracing whatever they're doing, whereas before the operative – narrative was that he wasn't happy with what they were doing. And look, when he has the ball in his hands and is able to facilitate, he's been really, really effective. We haven't seen it to the extent that we've seen it in the playoffs. But this is a guy that's playing center. He's averaging 8, as I just mentioned, 8 assists per game over his last 4. That's pretty amazing.
It's also not that long ago. What was it, 8 days ago? Or no,
10 days ago.
10 days ago,
Yeah.
where we're like, oh, my God, they're down 2 games to
Yeah.
1. This team can't win a championship. And then they turned it around 4 games. So it's really about how we look at the coach, right? The rarity of making a coaching change after losing in the conference final. It just doesn't happen. But where do you think the difference lies in the coaching? Would this be happening if Tibbs were still here?
Well, I will say that the huge edge that the Knicks have in this series as it unfolds, especially if Embiid is compromised, is the Knicks bench. The Knicks bench last year, if Tibbs went to an 8th guy or a 9th guy, it would be an 8th guy or 9th guy that hadn't played. This year, whoever he goes to has experience. He went to Huck Porty in Game 1 the other night when the Knicks were in foul trouble. Cat had 3 fouls. Mitchell Robinson had 3 fouls. I don't know what Tibbs would have done. I don't think Tibbs would have gone to a Huck Porty because he wouldn't have played Huck Porty enough to have any confidence in him that he could play 2 or 3 minutes.
That's a great point.
Jose Alvarado was out of the rotation, comes back into the rotation, contributes. Jordan Clarkson was out of the rotation, back into the rotation, contributes. So I think the biggest change to me is that Mike Brown is going to use guys that have been used to playing. Remember last year against the Pacers, Tibbs was playing DeLon Wright. Like, what's going on here? I mean, playing guys that hadn't played at all.
Right.
Now, when Brown goes to the bench, these guys have played. I think that's might be the biggest edge, and it could really start taking even more of a storyline as we go further on in these playoffs.
We have talked so much about the core of this group being together for this is a 4th year now that they're in a run. And a 4th year that they've won at least one playoff series, and it's not something that any of them are celebrating, the fact that they win one. They all know what the goal is for this team. When you go through these trials and tribulations, and Billy P., you, me, Wally, we were just talking to Monica, we have been through some of the roller coaster of emotions, right, where you feel like this might be the year and then it all comes crashing down for whatever reason. But when you go through that, though, there's a lot that the similarities, the continuity that you can bring now into a 4th year where you say, we've been through enough. I heard Deuce McBride say this, that we've been through enough of these now to know what to expect, to what happens and how to handle it. How much of that do you think will deliver in this year? Because there really has been other than the coach, there has been a continuity with the core of this team.
And, of course, Cat, even when he wasn't here, has deep playoff experience.
Yes.
So, obviously, he missed the first couple of years.
But he's been this is 2 conference finals. He's been 2 back-to-back.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking this. I don't know how you feel, and you guys cover – we're all so close to this every day, but we go up and down during the regular season, and what you realize is regular season. I mean, come on, man.
I know. What are we? What are we?
And I hate.
It's a dirty secret, but
I hate to be so blatantly honest, but
it does
look,
feel
that's
way.
our job, right? We have to, be engaged, but you start realizing that this is money time, and the Knicks, when they're losing 9 of 11 in the regular season, I think deep down, to your point, hey, man, just chill out. We've been here.
Like
we know money time is not now.
Right.
But I'll tell you, when they were down 2-1 to the Hawks, a switch flipped. And maybe it's the experience that you're talking about. All of us were somewhat in panic mode. And
there was deep concern.
And they have just rolled ever since. They have not. They have been dominant. I mean, this is a run right now for the ages in terms of what they've done here the last 3-4 games.
No, a few games into by the time we got to game 5 or so, I think, Alan, you were very much on OG Anunoby is the MVP
of the series, yes.
So far. Is that still a reasonable thing to say of the Knicks run so far, or has that shifted to Cat? Who do you view as most valuable so far for this team?
See, to me, Anunoby is key because he's now become a consistent third option scoring. He used to be a guy that's going to stand in the corner and hit the 3. Now he is creating his own shot and making it. And that, to me, we all know that he's been great on defense. He has been a difference maker on defense. He's been effective when he's been open. But to me, one of the big changes and what's really helped this team maybe take the next step is his ability to create his own shot.
Yep.
And he's averaging 21 per game so far in these playoffs. I think he's shooting 63% from 2 and over 52% from 3.
Right. Remarkable.
And you throw him in with Cat and Jalen Brunson, now you got a viable third option.
You've been doing this a long time now. What does this mean? Like the experience of all this mean for you?
I was thinking about that. I just want us to make sure that we are appreciative of what we've seen here. This is an NBA record run that we've seen. Now, what's our thought going to be, heaven forbid, if it doesn't materialize for
right.
a
When we
deep
reflect
run.
on the season, if
Right.
they don't end up in the finals, what
Right.
will we think of it? Right.
Right.
But still,
this is the last since the 2 losses to Atlanta. The Knicks have been virtually unbeatable. We've mentioned this on the air. I'm sure you guys have talked about it. The last 2 games, a starter hasn't played a single second in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is not the G League or Summer League we're talking about. I mean, so I think you have to, regardless of what happens, I think this, however this stretch lasts, we have to take that away, right? I mean, this has been the fan would say, oh, who cares? But I think these last 4 games, and this is NBA history that we've seen.
This is 10 days of probably the greatest 10 days we've seen since probably the 1999 run when they won that Game 5 in Miami and then won the next 4. They won 5 in a row, if not 6 in a row, when they went all the way to the conference finals. But that sweep in the middle there, that's a solid 2 weeks of just euphoria. I don't think we've seen a playoff run like that since now.
I'm glad you said appreciate it, because the other team that you've done with the Rangers on MSG, and I saw the stat last night when the Avalanche won their 6th consecutive game to start the playoffs. That's the most that a President's Trophy team had won in a row to start since the Rangers won 7 straight in 24. Because so much happened since then, I had completely forgotten about it. That the Rangers won their first 7 playoff games in 2024, and now we fast forward 2 years later, they're in a reimagining. That's how fleeting it all is. But this Knick thing seems more sustainable, no matter where it ends up.
Yeah, but
it
Don,
feels like they're in a better place.
That Ranger group made the conference finals 2 of 3 years.
Right.
And they were up 2-0.
And a 2-0 lead in Game 3 against
Right.
Tampa in 22. That's my point, is that now here we are, not that long ago. But it doesn't – no matter where this run goes, does it feel more sustainable than the Rangers
my
situation?
concern as a fan who cares is that if this goes in a way that's not expected, that we may see a turbulent offseason. Just because of the nature of the modern-day NBA, the modern-day NHL. I mean, the Rangers obviously felt like they needed to move on from some guys they felt were aging. Whether that was a correct move or not, that was a decision that was made. I think there's a certain expectation now. You make the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
If certain goals are not met this year, I think you could.
But where's that line, though? That was what I was just debating. So in the first series, I'm going, well, hey, if they somehow lose in the first round, maybe Mike Brown's out, maybe everyone's traded who's not named Jalen Brunson. Now they've won that series in historic fashion. Now we're on to Series 2. At what point, because last year, Bill, I was sure Tibbs got to the point where he's locked in for next year. Obvious I was wrong. Can you say what the line would be for this team? It's hard to say.
And I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just glad we're not involved in that.
Even though the Knicks changed their coach, I think the difference between the two organizations is the Rangers waited until it was too late to address the roster. It feels like if they are put in a position to make changes, it'll be with the roster and going after one of the best players in the NBA in Giannis. So at least it could be a turbulent offseason, but could be offseason that could pay some dividends where you feel like, hey, look what we acquired here.
To your guys, Peter's point, how do you know, okay, this wasn't, you go to 7 games in the conference finals?
And does that mean you need an overhaul?
I got to see what it looks like. Right.
I think Alan's right. I don't think it's games. It just, how do you feel? Like, there's got to be a feel.
Again, so if you take these 4 games, that's got to be something you think about too, or not.
Well, here's the thing. Last week, Knicks are down 2-1.
Okay, I'm giving you. If they're down, if they lose that series in 6 games, or something.
I remember saying. Do you guys remember what I said to you? It was when it got to 2-2. I said, if they go on and win the next 2, we're going to forget this series was ever hard.
Yes.
And we did. Flip side to that coin, if they somehow were to go and lose this series or get swept by Detroit, sadly, we will forget about this great 4-game run.
We will.
That's not what you remember.
But that's usually how it goes. That's what a playoff run's all about. And it's probably 15 years from now when you go, hey, remember those 4 games? That's when you do that stuff, when you forget. Because it's always how it ends, what sticks with you the longest at the beginning, and then over time, the memory of whatever this group ends up doing. Because let's be honest, like the window, this is 4 years now. The window starts to get a little bit closer, but it's being in the moment right now, and I'm glad that's what Bill said. Is that to understand what we've been watching and to know that this is not the way it's normally going to go. but it does give an indication of where it can go as far as the success for the season. We've been waiting a long time to see, can this team ever put it together at the right time? There's no more right time than right now.
You know, and to your point about, and as people that talk about this, you know, what's success, what's failure, I was struck by what Joe Mazzulla said, the Celtics coach, after they got knocked out by the Sixers. He said, I feel the same as we did when we won the championship. Well, explain that to me.
And then Jaylen Brown said this is his favorite, most fun he's had.
But I can see he felt like, yeah, we didn't, but he led
He got
surprise during the regular season.
Right.
Okay. I think that's what he's saying.
He was in MVP contention.
Right. Now, maybe that's not the best thing to say.
Nope.
But you can understand it a little bit.
But Joe Mazzulla saying, I feel as the same way I did when we won the
Bill,
did you hear that?
Yes, I'm a Celtics fan. He's a freak.
But what is that?
He's a weird dude.
So what is that in terms of, like, we all measure the championship? There's a coach saying maybe it's just being able to compete.
Well, no, what he's telling you is they weren't good enough to win a championship.
Yeah, he knew
He took them as far as they could go.
Yeah.
We're looking at them as being dangerous. Tatum comes back.
Right.
They're going to be the favorite. I think what he's telling you is we weren't good enough.
So
to be
he's saying, I'm so happy with our regular season and what we were able to accomplish with Tatum being out most of the time.
But I don't think it's that. Do you guys remember the clip of the little kid interviewing Joe Mazzulla and asking about, like, fun? And he goes, fun is working hard. Fun is compete. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't care about results.
He doesn't. And I'm not, I'm not judging him, even though I'm giving a hard time. It's how he operates. He's a very religious guy. He sees things in you go to work each day. I don't think he has highs or lows. But my bigger issue with him is you see your team is unable to win games when they're shooting the rock. You don't change your approach.
Right.
Like, something's got to change.
Bill, have fun, man. Hopefully we'll see you coming up.
It's Bill Pidto, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Great Bill
Always
Pidto.
great to see you guys.
Thank you, man.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg hanging out with you at Stout till 6 o'clock here on ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over, Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
I'm a dog, and my job is to make you happy. So I recommend Optimum Fiber for your home. It's famously fast, way better than flaky 5G home internet, which can slow down the more people or dogs are online. So switch to Optimum Fiber, starting at only $25 a month with a 5-year price lock. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. That's 888-4-OPTIMUM. Gus, fetch! I gotta take that. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. Must be 21 and older and physically present in New York. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are They will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If the Knicks don't win this series, it would be a massive disappointment.
And this is not a regular 7 seed. Talent-wise, they're better than
No, that's a good team.
Just got to make sure we up the level of our focus, attention to detail, discipline, and physicality.
There is no, well, the Knicks have had a good season, but they lost in 7 to Philadelphia. That does not exist. You have to win this series. Knicks in 5.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Harry Douglas here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Mother's Day is coming, and you gotta show love to the mothers in your life. You know you gotta take care of mom. Plus, my wife just became a first-time mom. So yeah, Mother's Day matters, and you gotta get it right. That's why I'm sending flowers from the Books Company. Right now, get 25% off with code CANTY. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. And it's easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. Mother's Day is May 10th, so don't wait. Go to Books.com, use code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com.
The Knicks are one step closer to their ultimate goal.
The Knicks beat the Hawks 140-89 and win this first-round series in 6.
Will this be the year the Knicks punch their ticket to the NBA Finals?
Brunson right wing, walks into his 3. That's good. Rebound, Towns on the putback is good. It's a Towns takeover here in the third quarter.
Thanks to all our New York Knicks partners this season, including The Wellness Company, Dime Commercial Bank, Michelob Ultra, and Kia Motors on ESPN New York.
Programming alert. Game 2 of the Knicks and the Sixers will immediately follow us here on 880 ESPN New York at 6 o'clock. And all the games can be streamed on ESPN New York's app. Today's Mets-Rockies game can be heard on 1050 at 8:30, and that's the way it's going to be the rest of the Knicks run. So we do appreciate our partners with the Mets making that happen. Now, speaking of the Yankees, they continue to be hot. They've won 15 of their last 17 games. And the one person that should be very concerned about this is Anthony Volpe. Because McMahon's hitting home runs, Caballero is hitting. They have no appetite to make any changes at shortstop or third base. Lombard Jr. is now up in AAA on the same team that Volpe's on right now, because Volpe was sent back to the minors after his rehab stint. As long as the Yankees keep winning and that side of the infield continues to produce, there is not a spot for Anthony Volpe.
And there's no reason for anybody, including Volpe, by the way, to have any concern about this. It is a story because of what he was just in the last couple of years. And if you also consider how much Cashman talked to him. Remember when Cashman had it out with the media about his trust and faith and belief in Volpe, and, had some choice words with the media as well. We know, was it Boone that called him elite, right? Like they were protecting him. They were defending him. They were in front of him. That's not happening now. Well, so actions over words right now when it comes to the Yankees and how they're handling Volpe. It doesn't necessarily mean, in my opinion, that they're done with him, but it definitely lets him know you're on notice. Like, you got to be in the minors. You got to handle it right. You got to do everything right. And that it's going to be now a race between him and Lombard Jr. and to see which guy is going to be the one that emerges. Now, again, with McMahon, who's, by the way, another guy that's been hitting the ball.
Yeah.
He got a home run last night.
He has.
He's worked with Judge in the pen, I always say the pen, that's the wrong thing to say here, in the cage.
Right.
On some things, and it's a great story that Susan told last night, that basically, like, that Judge said, let me see what you got, watch his stance, and then change something. And since then, he's had a couple extra base hits. He has a couple of home runs, and it is something that you don't expect to be a long-term thing with McMahon, but he's good defensively. But at some point, they're going to have to make a decision and figure out what the future third base is. But Caballero's been really good. He's an everyday player, at least proving himself to be that, and that is something he's going to hold on to. All this is tenuous, of course. We know it.
Well, it can change in a heartbeat.
It always does. But right now, there's no reason to overreact. And I think it says a lot that the Yankees, without saying anything, instead of bringing Volpe up because, well, we can't. It'll look bad. What it'll look like. He's the guy. We got to play him. No, we don't have a need for this right now. We have options. We're going to let you play there, do your best, and when the time comes, you'll have your opportunity. And who's to say another team doesn't come calling?
Yeah, because there'll be a need at some point. We're still very early in the season.
But, man, you talk about how fast things change. When I was
That's
reading
baseball, Susan.
Yeah, when I was reading the Volpe decision, I was like, gosh, just a second ago we were talking about what this guy could be. And not that it's completely ruled out now. But to know that it's on the table, that they're definitely going to be listening to offers.
But to know they don't feel an urgency.
No.
To get him back and to prove. Wait, well, we've invested so much that we would look bad if we put him in the minors. What will that look like? I'm glad they're not making the corporate decision on him. I'm glad they're making what's best for the team right now, and maybe what's best for the kid.
I'm glad that you brought up the actions speak louder than words, because that was thrown out there when Boone and Cashman got aggressive and were defending him verbally. But yet, during that time, they trade for McMahon, they trade for Caballero, they're playing them, they send Volpe down on the minor league stint, leave him down in the minor leagues after the injury was over. That actions speak louder than words. They defend him, that's right for an organization, but they didn't get stubborn. And they did what was right for the team. And now those guys are starting to hit. They've been A-plus defenders all along anyway. And the Yankees, the only problem with the Yankees is they haven't been able to shake loose of the Rays.
It's a crazy thing happening.
They're the best team in baseball right now. The Rays are only a game back in the loss column. But I have a feeling as the season goes on, not saying the Rays are going to go away, but I still like the Yankees' chances, certainly, of making the playoffs and eventually winning that division, because the Yankees will be more equipped. But you say with having Volpe, if they need to make moves at the deadline, they'll be more equipped to do that than the Rays, and I think that'll help them eventually solidify the division. The two teams that were 500 lost last night. So, again, the American League stinks.
It's crazy.
But right now, the Yankees are the class of the American League, and that's all that matters.
And can we talk about Judge as well? Like Judge almost had another home run last night at the top of the wall. Like Judge and what he's on right now, what he's doing right now is something that, like Bill was just talking about, taking for granted this Knick run and what you're seeing from this team. I do think we have reached a point, and it's really, you blame Judge. He has set this standard for himself. But we are almost like, like Judge is doing things at a historic level once again, at a dominant level once again, the best at it in baseball, with always as somebody else like that's pushing him. But the bottom line is, what he does year after year, we've reached a point now where we just kind of shrug at it, like, yeah, well, that's what he does.
Yeah,
his standard is so much higher year to year. I'm not talking about the flesh in the pan guys. Again, Cal Raleigh last year came out of nowhere and did what he did. Judge does this every year. And we just take it like as if, well, this is his standard. No one else has a standard like this, and he meets it every year.
1-800-919-3776. The phones are up. How do you feel about the Knicks? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from Stout on ESPN New York.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This month, it's time to saddle up for some big wins with our $65,000 Winner's Circle drawing. Be here every Friday in May between 4 and 6 p.m. when 4 winners will be drawn every hour to win $250 free play. At 7 p.m., 4 winners will join the Winner's Circle to win $2,500 cash. Ride your winning streak where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Attention, New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios home internet for an incredible $20 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with autopay, mobile and home, and bonus discount. Enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joinDOC or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Register today to take the test.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Just made the list, buddy.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, fellas,
it's Tully time.
Game 2, Knicks Sixers, right after us on 880 at 6 o'clock. That means the Mets are going to be facing the Rockies in Colorado on 10:50. That game's at 8:30. And the Yankees will be at the stadium against the Rangers at 7:05. Looks like the weather's going to hold up for them. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
You sure about the weather?
Yeah, I think it was supposed to. I don't know. I thought I saw that it was going to rain today early, but then it was going to clear up. No.
Well, no. It looks rainy for today and tomorrow. Friday is a great day.
Yeah.
Or better. And then Saturday and Sunday, Mother's Day, it is not what's hot in the streets.
No, not what you want.
I mean, not if you're the kind of, I know Alan, Steph's not into Mother's Day. She's out.
Well, I have a game that day anyway,
so
I'm
you're
in the
out.
studio.
You're a rap. It's a rumor to you.
But the game tonight, though, at the stadium might not make it, right?
I don't know.
We got rain 8 o'clock.
I just want to point out to everybody that next Thursday is May 14th.
Okay.
The low on that day is still 47. I just want to.
Yeah, it's we're just not.
It's not getting better. Like it's just.
Can I just
roll right into January?
Can I just point out to you guys?
Go ahead.
We've really become the old man show.
Yeah, well, this is real.
Old men complaining about the weather has really become too much of a staple.
I understand that.
We
but
need
you know
to
what?
fight through this.
Even when I was 12, I didn't want it to rain.
Well, that's different.
Even when I was 12, in May, I wanted to be able to go in my shorts and go play basketball, wiffle ball out. I still cared. Maybe I didn't complain about it because nobody wanted to listen to me. I was only 12.
Right.
But I still cared
Dad would break
about
his leg
the weather.
for complaining.
I just feel like we've become that show.
No, here's why I disagree with you. I believe the current weather and people's being upset with it is across all demographics.
Yeah?
I think everybody is like, seriously?
Am I weird that I like a rainy spring day?
Yes, very.
I'm weird. Okay.
Well, what am I doing on that day?
I don't mind a rainy spring day.
No, I would be with you if like other days felt like spring. The problem is yesterday was November.
It's cold.
So every day it's cold.
But no, yesterday was
good.
amazing.
We had one good one.
Look at my face. I burned up on the roof.
Yesterday was one good one in which it was, what, 70? We did all right.
It was almost 8.
And now it's going to be followed by, listen, rain's rain, but, dude, we're hitting the second week of May. Can we get out of the friggin' 60s, for God's sakes?
No, it's bad.
All right.
No, it's bad. I'm telling you, it's bad.
Old man. I am what I am. I'm 58. What am I going to pretend? There's nothing worse than an old man pretending to be young.
That's a good point.
All right? I've got to lean into what I am.
Wait, how old are you
That's
again?
the point of the
58.
You are? Are you sure?
Why?
Because I don't believe it.
No.
Michael just turned 58. I mean 53.
You're not 58, right? Like you're
I'm
kidding.
58
No,
years
no, no.
old.
You're,
Stop it.
No,
I'm not joking. I'm like,
that seems crazy.
Well,
point is,
doesn't seem right.
Do you want me to be the old man at the club Pretend that I'm 25 and I'm really 58
But to
years
come
old.
over, I would love that.
No, and by the way, Don was this. I've been now with Don for 10 years. You were 40. So you were 48 when we met. You were just a little bit older than I am now, and you were the same way. You were in on the weather, especially when the kids came.
Well, yeah, because what am I doing this weekend? It's going to be affected by the weather.
Right.
Well, does Marco have games this weekend?
Yeah.
Of course he does.
How many? 6, 7 games this weekend?
Oh, he's practiced today, which is probably going to get rained out. He's got a game on Saturday.
When's the autograph signing?
And then Declan, I try to be there for Declan. He's got games Saturday and Sunday.
How is Declan as a ball player?
He's a hell of a catcher, and he's one of the best hitters on his team. He's
Really?
on the travel team, so they've been going around all over North Jersey.
Wait, so, and Declan is how many years older than Marco?
So about like 2.5. So he's going to be 11 in August.
Oh, that's real.
So they'll be 9 in December. So it's like 2.5.
So he's almost on the
years.
precipice of Little League World Series kind of levels, right?
He could be. He's playing very well.
So, and that also is, I have to imagine, a real bonus for Marco to have a cousin who can ball, who's 2.5 years older than
Set
you.
the standard. Let
That's
him know.
Are they getting out and chucking it with each other?
Yeah, and I work with them. I try to work with them when I can. So
they overcome that.
So weather affects these games and affects what I'm going to be doing this weekend. So if you think I'm an old man, guess what? I am.
Yeah.
You know what?
But an old man who had a margarita today, like a
listen,
gentleman.
And the people that don't complain about weather are shut-ins that don't leave the house and don't care anyway.
Right.
Because you know what? As long as they got their porn and their meals delivered, what do they care if it rains or not? These are the people I care about.
You're welcome.
These are the people that worry about what I'm doing.
This is why
They should be worried about themselves, man. All they care about is that their internet isn't disrupted.
Yep. No, as long as they're
Grubhub doesn't go out of business.
as long as they're getting the high-speed porn in their Grubhub, they ain't leaving the house.
Whenever you wonder why I ask Don such silly questions,
You never know what you're going to get.
you're welcome.
By the way,
but isn't it true?
By the way, Alan.
Very true.
Alan, how old are you these days?
I don't really want to admit it. 54.
He's right there. He's on
know.
your tail. He's
know.
chasing you
I'm
down.
chasing
I
him.
know. He won't catch me.
He won't.
But that's why I hate it.
I know.
Because it's like, no, you can't be, because that means I'm this.
You're right there, too.
I don't want to think that way.
No.
We're all 15 mentally, so what does it matter?
Please, 15. I wish I acted that old.
All right, 1-800-919-3776. No Embiid tonight for Philly as the Knicks look to take a 2-0 series lead. Phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. Always fun to talk to Heather Babbles.
Oh, we love Heather Babbles.
Hello, Heather.
What's up, guys? How's
Hello.
everybody doing?
Good. You care about the weather, right?
I actually do. It's either 40 or 80. It's
That's
like
right.
insane.
One of the two.
There's so many topics, guys, going through my head right now. I'm really going to revert back to Heather Babbles.
Okay,
go.
All right. No? Okay. I was thinking of last week, and you guys were talking about, it was a couple days ago, May 4th, and Alan is a Star Wars fan, and we're a Star Wars family. We got all the lightsabers in the back room, in our family room, but we have all the Devils jerseys back there, too. And then I'm thinking about, you guys were talking about people who don't follow you on Instagram, and Peter, I follow you, but you don't follow me, but Alan follows me.
What are you doing?
I'm so sorry.
Go give her a follow.
Yeah,
I mean,
right
I
now.
thought
What am I
like
doing?
we were like besties, you know?
Well, now you know who really cares.
That's a bad job by
Just
me.
so you know, Heather, now you know who cares, right?
I absolutely know. And Don, did you just say your kids are almost 9?
Almost 9. They're 8 years, 5 months. Yeah, so almost 9.
Oh my gosh! Seriously, it's such a cliche, but time goes by so fast. I mean, my son he turned 18. He's graduating high school next month. I just can't take it, and it makes me feel like I'm just getting old.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
But the most important topic of the call, I heard you guys talking about this about an hour ago, and then I had to run in to go to the dentist, and I came back out, and then I called you guys. You guys were talking about files, and that made me think, you stole Trotta's files? Well, you know why he gave you his files? He has to by law. It's called disclosure, you D-head. You can get a list of his witnesses. You can talk to his witnesses.
Took me a second. I didn't know.
No, you didn't. Oh, yeah.
We're back.
Any
Yeah.
surprises? They didn't teach you that either in law school.
She knows this movie by heart.
It is so
I'm
good, though.
telling
It's
you.
perfect.
She could do a one-woman show.
Yeah, no, it really is impressive.
On this movie, if they ever made a Broadway edition of this show, there's no one
it's
else.
only Heather Babbles.
There's no one else to give the role to. No one else.
Thank you, Heather, for
Miss
the phone
Vito.
call. Steve in Middle Village, you're
she's
on
the
ESPN
best.
New York. Hi, Steve.
Big Steve-O.
Hey, I have to follow her. She's tremendous.
I know.
Yeah.
She's very good.
What movie can you recite?
Yes.
Oh, probably silent movies. I think would be the best.
Oh, that would be good stuff.
Maybe
Great
something
radio.
from Buster Keaton, but I can't do all the flips. Any rate, I was calling about a couple of things that happened yesterday in the show. One is, Peter, I think you said sports has to be fun, and I think all of you did it. It was after some old guy, probably older than me, and I'm 73, and he was saying, well, the Knicks don't really play well, and they don't pass, and they don't do this.
Yeah,
I had to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time that I'm not even I'm the reason why I'm rooting for the Knicks or that I'm following the playoffs is your show, so I can keep up with you guys. It's been wonderful. The game the game where they blew out Atlanta reminded me. I watched parts of it. I was joking with my wife. I was going in from the den telling her what's going on. It was the only game with the Knicks that I've ever seen that reminded me of the Frazier, Willis type of games. Not that they scored as many points as they did, but this team has something. This team is kind of like the 1977 Yankees. I'm an old Yankee fan. Where I felt in my gut that they're going to win the championship. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Wow. Well, thank you
for everything that you do.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate that.
Great teams do that.
Optimism.
I mean, that's what you're fishing for, right? It's like when you go on a run that they're on, the way that they're dismantling the teams that they're playing. Great teams, championship caliber teams do that. And it's going to be human nature for us to take a look at this team and constantly grade it on the curve of, can they win a championship?
Yeah.
And when they were down 2-1 against Atlanta, we talked about it that Friday. You know what? This doesn't look like a championship team. But now that they've won the 4 in a row and the way they've won it, you could say they look like a championship team.
They have
and
turned
that's
that.
the roller coaster you're on, man.
But you've never – I got to keep going back to you've never seen it like this, though. And that's the part that you just keep saying to yourself, is this real? And each game goes by and you see when they break a game open – and you just keep saying, like, they have that break-a-game open type of game now in them. And it's that step-on-their-throat kind of mentality that we see where all of a sudden they're in a flurry. And late in again, that first half thing in Game 1 really got me because that was a killer. That was a kill shot. Even up as much as they were at the half in Atlanta in Game 6, when they came out of the second half, there is always that, all right, are they going to come out flat? Is this suddenly going to become a bit of a game? Like, what are we going to do here? And that was another kill shot right out of the gate. They were up 61. So there's something that you're seeing that makes you keep saying, I want to see more. And that's kind of what a run is about when you start to get a feeling for a team, is that it just keeps making you say, I want to see it more. I want to keep seeing it. And the more you see it, the more you start to believe this isn't a one-off. This might be what they've found in themselves. Tonight's another example. No Embiid, a game that should heavily favor you. In fact, the line says so, Peter.
Well, yeah, let me see if it's changed by the way.
Yeah, it was the last we checked, because you got it yesterday at 7.5. Last we checked was 10.5 after the Embiid news broke. And is it still sitting at 10.5?
Well, let's see, because the last thing I was looking at was considering betting Anunoby points. But let's calm down. 10.5.
All right, so it stayed there. So the feeling is they should win fairly easily by double figures. This is where, okay, prove that you're not that team that falls into complacency and can get got on a night where everybody walks in the building expecting to see a win.
All right, Subi's a little worried about this game. He's in Midtown. You're on Don Hahn and Rosenberg. What's up?
Yeah, I do think this is a trap game. I feel like Maxey is capable of putting up 40 points tonight. And the Knicks, I've heard that they were denied entry to an after party at the Met Gala.
Madonna and
That
Sabrina
was-
Carpenter, they tried to walk in when it was it was invite only. So it's a silly,
feel like the
cheesy
Knicks-
headline. It's not anything to worry about
Yeah,
as a
I feel-
fan.
Well, I feel like they won't be as focused if that's the case, and I don't.
They won't
want
be as
them to
focused.
blame-
Oh, come on, Subi. That's a silly thing. Like they're not being in.
Wait, are you being serious?
He's
a
not
joke.
being silly. He's bringing something up that is a silly social media thing.
So what is this? I didn't even
All
hear
right, so
I
Madonna,
missed
so
it
at the Met,
altogether.
after the Met Gala, which was of course during Game 1, Madonna and Sabrina Carpenter had an invite-only party at one of the clubs here in the city. And, a couple of Knicks players tried to see if they could get in. And they couldn't because it was an invite-only. And so it became, of course, a story for Page Six because it's like it was such an exclusive party that even Knicks players who tried to get in couldn't get in. And everybody ran with it because it was like, one way of laughing at a team that's having success. So Subi wanted to bring it up because he thought it was relevant to tonight's game.
Well, it would only be relevant if you're going to tell me that their head wasn't in the series. They wanted to go out and party after game one. They're young NBA players in New York City with a day off the next day. They're going to go out.
It's
all right.
Whatever.
They're going to go out.
But the other part that he brought up, Maxi's going to go for 40. I'm worried Maxi will go for 40 is the funniest line to me. Guys, Maxi's going to probably go for 30 or 40 tonight.
In fact, let me see.
Like you might want to take Maxi and his points.
Well, the problem is let me see.
Because it's probably not going to be a worthwhile bet.
That's the problem.
He's going to go for 30 or 40. What I'm telling you is no one else can go for 25 or more. That's the thing you have to worry about, not Maxi.
Maxi is for 25 or more.
Yeah.
He's minus 196, meaning he's expected to go for 25.
Yeah.
Now, when he gets to over 30, he's at plus 142, which is still a low favorite. That's just a little tad. Now, if you want to know where their money would be, 35 and over, he's at plus 350. You like that? No, right? You could see him for 38, 40. Where else are they going to go?
I mean, I wouldn't put a lot.
You'd sprinkle.
But it's like it's lunch. You know what I mean?
Let me just be smart and stay with my.
You're just going to
my Knicks 7.5.
Don't tempt it, right?
No, I'm in a good spot because you don't want to end up where you're going. Hey, I'm rooting for the Knicks to cover, but I'm rooting for Maxi to get the points.
Oh, you don't like how?
I don't like doing that.
Mojo.
Let me just watch the Knicks.
What do you do if that three you need from him to be able to win the one bet hurts you on the other bet?
You're conflicted.
Don't even mess.
If I was going to do it, the one I liked was OG for 25 or more at plus 480. I liked OG to have a game tonight.
Oh, well, that would not be nothing.
And at least that way you can root the same direction.
Especially if OG was one of the players that was not allowed in, and now he's a little pissed off.
That's it. And he's a big Sabrina Carpenter fan.
Maybe I didn't score enough points. Maybe I need to go for 40 tonight. Now will you let me in?
Boom. Thank you, Sabrina.
Now, big night for Spike, and he's a friend of the show from St. Pete. And not just a big night because of the Knicks, but I know you've been going through some stuff, and you had a big day. So congratulations, Spike.
We're very happy for you.
Oh, man, thanks, boys. You meant a lot to me. I said it a number of times. You helped me get through it. And I said it to you yesterday or the day before, boys. I said that I wouldn't be surprised if they took Embiid out because I kidded about Grady from Sanford and so on, a little levity to this, more serious things in life. But I can't come up with the points. We went through this exercise yesterday. I'll give 45 to Maxey. I'll give 25 to Edgecombe. I'll give 15 to Quentin Grimes. I'll give 25 to Paul George. The Knicks have been averaging, 123?
Yeah.
Averaging
a lot. So you're saying it's not going to be enough points. That's what you're saying.
It can't be. No, don't. I grew up in Brooklyn. They called, don't play tear-ass basketball. Don't play that kind of game. And the Knicks can play it. But they're going to throw every one of them guards at these guys. Will own the boards, and they're going to have no one out there more than 6'8". I don't see how they get enough points. I mean, I really don't.
Yeah, well, they were able to do it. Spike, they were able to do it in Game 2 against Boston. That was all because of the threes. You cannot let them get going from three. That's something we've seen opponents do in this building. It must be a good shooting gym because some teams come in here and they light it up. Especially early.
And the Garden's a great shooting gym. You've always told me that. But with sidelines and the dark stuff. But one thing, I watched that Boston game again, and they fell asleep, man. They just took that game for granted. And Peter, one last thing. I can't get over Missoula, that starting lineup. I don't want to make you feel bad. It's almost like I got to look at the gambling on the game. I really can't understand what was going on with it.
I hear you.
All right, thanks for everything.
Thanks, Spike. You're the man.
Spike's been going through some stuff, but he rang the bell today.
Congratulations, Spike.
Congratulations
Spike,
on that. And we love that an old-time Knicks fan is going through this and having fun. And he made some very cogent points, too.
And in that game, too, just to point it out, I know we're late. I'm sorry, Tom.
No.
The Sixers went 19 of 39 from 3.
Okay.
And, I mean, everybody was making 3. Grimes had 2. Edgecombe went 6 for 10. There's the guy, I'm telling you, worry about him because he sneaks up on you. Maxey hit 5. That's basically it. Paul George only hit 2, but it was Maxey went for 29. Edgecombe went for 30. And that backcourt really was, a big difference. And the Celtics only got to 97 points because they couldn't make a 3. They were 13 of 50.
Wow.
They took 50 threes.
Crazy.
And they only hit 13 of them. That is a recipe for disaster. I don't believe the Knicks are going to play that way at all.
All right, more of your calls at 1-800-919-3776. It's a little early, but it is the last call crew.
Wow.
Because we've got an early edition of ENN coming up at 5:45 because we got to get out at 6. Why? Because Pat O'Keefe takes over with the Knicks pregame with the Knicks on at 7 o'clock. And we've got the Mets on 10:50 tonight. We want to thank them for that, and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the run here for the Knicks. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, we're live at Stout. 35th, still time to swing by. We're upstairs, getting you ready for Game 6. Sixers, Knicks. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over, Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for Game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
I'm a dog, and my job is to make you happy. So I recommend Optimum Fiber for your home. It's famously fast, way better than flaky 5G home internet, which can slow down the more people or dogs are online. So switch to Optimum Fiber, starting at only $25 a month with a 5-year price lock. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. That's 888-4-OPTIMUM. Gus, fetch. I gotta take that. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Mother's Day is coming, and you gotta show love to the mothers in your life. Between my mom and my wife, who is now a first-time mom, I got a lot of appreciation I need to show. So yeah, Mother's Day matters, and you gotta get it right. That's why I'm sending farm fresh flowers from the Books Company. Right now, get 25% off with my code Canty. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. They've got incredible flowers. Some are even growing on the side of a volcano. And the best part, Books makes it easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. No last-minute panic. That's why Books has over 55,000 five-star reviews. With 25% off using code Canty, grab flowers for your mom, your wife, and grandma too. Mother's Day is May 10th, so don't wait. Go to Books.com, use code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, use code Canty. Books.com, code Canty.
Hey, this is Chevy, managing partner at Precision Solar. We believe going solar should be simple, and it should make real financial sense. We manage the entire process from start to finish and offer flexible solar payment options designed around your goals. When the numbers work, solar can lower your monthly cost and give you predictable energy for decades. And if you refer someone who installs with us, you can earn up to $1,000. Visit PrecisionSolar.com to schedule your free home assessment.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Now it's time for traffic with Susie Cerrone.
Thanks, guys. The accident on the Belt westbound at Lefferts Boulevard is gone, and heavy delays on the Deegan southbound from north of Van Cortlandt Park down to the stadium. There is a stall on the Deegan southbound left lane out on that ramp to the Cross Bronx. Cross Bronx to the outbound George, 40 minutes. Crash on the Parkway southbound at exit 159 for Route 80. An earlier overturned car on the Parkway northbound near the Driscoll Bridge is gone. We're sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports, PCA can help. They're a national nonprofit developing better people and better athletes through youth and high school sports. Visit positivecoach.org. I'm Susie Cerrone for 880 ESPN New York.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
All right, cheers, guys. Pleasure, guys.
Programming alert, Game 2 of the Knicks and Sixers. Will immediately follow us right here on 880 ESPN New York. And all games can be streamed on the ESPN New York app. Today's Mets-Rockies game can be heard on 1050, and that will be at 8:30. Couple of little notes before we get back to the calls at 1-800-919-3776. You know what aired 25 years ago today? May 6, 2001.
Hold on.
Oh, 2001. Okay.
25 years ago today.
25 years ago today. What aired? Okay.
Give me Seinfeld finale.
No, that was 98. You were 3 years off. No, the Pine Barrens episode of The Sopranos.
Ah, yeah.
Many
25 years ago?
It's just crazy to think
And
that.
Alan will appreciate this one. 38 years ago today was the eat another donut, you fat pig.
Shoney, right?
Yeah, Jim Schoenfeld
and it was
Don Koharski.
Oh, what a moment. Didn't he also take the bench?
No, that was for Torque.
That was for Torque did the bench. But this was him chasing him. It was at Meadowlands, right?
Yeah.
Chasing him into that tunnel. And he's yelling.
and Koharski trips. He thought that Schoenfeld had pushed him.
That's what it was.
They had to have a hearing, and it was a big deal. But if you look at the video clip, Peter, ABC, Channel 7, had a camera right at the end of the tunnel, so you see all this going on, and you see a very, very young Larry Brooks, who was working for the Devils at the time, trying to break it up, and it's pretty hilarious. So anytime I can think of Larry Brooks, it's always a good day. But I remember going to those games, and Peter knows this. I think we've talked about it on the air before. That's the reason in Wayne's World that it's Officer Koharski, because Mike Myers is a big hockey fan, and that was even a big deal up in Canada, even though it was the Bruins and the Devils at the time.
Right, because it's just one of those things that spreads through the
donut shop. Officer Koharski.
Yep.
Not a coincidence.
I didn't put that all together.
Not a coincidence.
That was a viral moment before there was such a thing, because it carried everywhere, and it just became. It was so legendary.
It's hard to. That was
Don Cherry must have played that a million times.
May 6, 1988. Schoenfeld was suspended. Lou Lamoriello got a court order to stop the suspension. The officials protested and wouldn't officiate the next game.
Didn't they have
they got replacement officials that were in yellow slickers, so you can. It was pretty embarrassing. The most embarrassing thing is the president, before the NHL had commissioners, John Ziegler, who didn't know what he was doing. He was vacationing in Switzerland or something during the conference final.
Yeah,
why would he be needed?
Why would you need to be in the country for playoffs?
Now, because ENN's very short today, I don't know how much time we'll have, but Certainly worth note today that we lost Ted Turner at 87 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously an iconic figure in media and created the 24-hour news cycle for better or for worse with CNN.
Actually managed the Braves.
Which
for
is
a little bit of
still
time.
an amazing thing.
He owned them, but he also
owned them.
He also decided to manage them.
But then he put the uniform on. And he was in the dugout.
Wait, when was that?
Well, that was early on.
Yeah, I think he was married to Jane Fonda at the time. It was probably late 80s.
Wait, how long are we talking about?
Was it just a game?
I'll look it up because I remember it. 'Cause I remember the
that?
photo of him in the uniform.
Yeah, he was
something.
He was nutty.
Yeah.
So he had the Braves, one game. He had the Braves. He had the Hawks. It was 77 that he did it. He had the Braves. He had the Hawks. Of course, he started all the Turner.
It was after a 16-game losing streak. He stepped into the dugout. They still lost the game. And then Major League Baseball then barred him from it, saying league rules prohibit owners from serving as manager.
By the way,
he would have done it. He would have kept doing it.
That is hilarious.
He would have kept doing it.
I didn't know that.
No, you can't do that.
I didn't know that piece.
And then George said, well, I guess I can't do it.
Yeah, I know. Glad Ted tried it out.
No.
But I mean, first of all, there's so much stuff with him connected to sports because the TBS Braves thing and Hawks thing for a while was such a big deal. The Superstation, and WGN.
Yep.
So all of that stuff is
How much did
Turner.
you in New York? And now again, you were young.
I was in D.C.
Yeah, but Don, do you remember? I don't know in New Jersey, but I know in Long Island. I got Braves games all the time.
No, every game.
And I every now and then you see the Cubs.
Yep.
Like it was a very
WGN,
regular thing. Yeah.
WGN showed a lot of Cubs games.
When I first got cable, which was in 1976, the big selling point for me was you got the Braves, you got WGN, so you got the Cubs and the White Sox at times. WSBK, you got the Red Sox games. It was like, for a young kid, it was like all these baseball games.
Right, it's like today. You had all these sports,
amazing. And I believe I got the timeline right here. He also owned the Atlanta Thrashers when they first came into the league and gave Scott Farrell the play-by-play on radio for the Thrashers, which was not nothing. I love Scott. But he
was different.
Wasn't your traditional play-by-play guy, but he owned it. He did it for, I want to say, at least their first season or maybe their second season. I love Scott, but he was given and he did it as Scott Farrell.
No, he didn't change anything.
He didn't change a thing.
I didn't know that.
How can I be doing you, man?
I got to look that up on YouTube. I never seen that. I never heard it. He also, of course, owned World Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
Famously battled with Vince McMahon back and forth in the wrestling business. Called Vince McMahon one day after he bought WCW and said, "Well, Vince, I'm in the wrestling business." And Vince was like, "Oh, congratulations, that's great, because I'm in the entertainment business." and you
Great
know,
line.
they battled back and forth for a while, and of course, Vince eventually won out and bought WCW from Ted Turner. But he super impactful in terms of sports, pro wrestling, entertainment in general.
And you know what else?
87 years old, Michael still wouldn't take it.
You know what else?
No.
A fantastic mustache.
Oh,
that not many could pull off.
Yeah.
But it worked for him.
And not for nothing, Jane Fonda.
I mean,
pull Jane Fonda as well.
It did work.
Three wives. I read a quote from him earlier today. At one point, several years ago, he had 4 girlfriends, and at one time. And when he was asked about it, he was like, "Yeah, 4 girlfriends. It's complicated, but still not as hard as marriage to one woman." Again, Ted Turner lived his own life.
And
when you got $1 billion, 4 girlfriends on the table. The man had a lot of time, a lot of ways to get
he
around.
probably scaled it down to 4.
Right? Who knows? God bless.
Well, that's the 4 they knew about.
Yeah. Well,
that's on the record.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, on the record.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Brian?
Hey, gents. This one's mostly for Hahn since he's the big basketball guy. But you guys were talking with Monica earlier about sort of who's the key for this whole thing, and she kind of went to Jalen and to OG. I got to disagree with that. I think the key for this whole thing is Mikal Bridges. He was brought here to be the cherry on top, to sort of snowball this thing, to push us over the top. The only difference in the last couple games, besides them moving the ball more, he is not an absolute albatross on the court anymore. I mean, his plus-minus was terrible. You know this. They were putting him on the bench 3 minutes into the first quarter.
Yep.
You couldn't even play the guy. They brought him in to give him 15 to 17 and play lockdown defense. And there were times this year he wasn't playing defense at all. It looked like he was just kind of walking around, running around, not really doing anything. Now all of a sudden he's locking guys down, his shot's falling, and the Knicks are winning by 40 instead of winning by 12 or 10 or 8 because he's given them what he was supposed to give them from day one. So I think he's the guy.
It's
if
a good one.
He goes back to being just terrible, the Knicks won't win.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go back to being terrible. I think he has like these cycles where he's up and down, but when he's in a good one, and I think the offense is allowing him to have that where he feels good. I also think it's a good call by you because, and you didn't even mention this side of the ball. To me, his defense is critical. He's the one that's got to handle Maxey as much as possible from the start of the game. He's the one that's got to run through all the screens and try to stay with one of the fastest players in the league. This is not an easy match for him, but in game one he was good. Now that's got to keep going, so that's why he's important. But if I get a vote, the guy I thought Monica was going to say, and I actually thought the caller was going to say as well, is Towns.
Yeah.
You take Embiid out of the equation, guess who's the best big man in the series again? It's Towns.
You would think so.
They don't have anybody that can handle him.
And
so once again, Karl Anthony Towns has to deal with smaller players, trying to get physical with him, trying to get nasty, trying to, get him off his game, rattle him, whatever it is. He's got to be the guy that we saw in the Atlanta series as well. He's got to continue to be that guy because he doesn't have to handle Embiid down at the other end.
I was going to say, it frees you up a little bit mentally to know you're not going down the other end to deal with.
And having to worry about not getting into foul trouble. No, now all you got to do is whoever's guarding you, win it. Win that matchup. And that's why I still think Towns is the most important player now for the rest of this series.
I really think I'm on to something.
Or at least tonight, I should say.
With this, how fascinating the potential story arc of Karl Anthony Towns is. I really do think.
Were you the one that said it? Like, is he going to go from being a guy that people were almost like running out of town to becoming a hero of the town? Right?
He could either
you
go
said
from
that weeks ago.
No, this was a while back.
Yeah,
because I was like, think about it. The line was, I said, if he could pull it together and stay focused for an entire playoff run, he goes into all-time Knick lore.
Yeah.
Or he could end up being this guy who's like, oh, remember Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah, that guy was never serious.
Yeah.
But he's got everything going for him. First of all, his game is just unbelievable. His level of talent is among the highest in the league.
He does the skill level
his
he
skill
has
level
for his
is
size.
absolutely insane. And then on top of that, he has these personal ties. He's a Dominican kid from New Jersey. There's all these things that are culturally so tied to New York. If they win, guys, it would be one of the the difference between him from the end of last year to if they were to win a championship, what he'd be. It's insane.
And not just the Knick lore, but just like his career. Like you said, the Bill, he probably is the piece that they would have to move to Milwaukee to get Giannis. So that would be, again, traded like he was from Minnesota to New York, of a guy that can't seem to get it done in Minnesota, couldn't get it done in New York. Now he's that guy that can't get it done. You can't win a title with Cat. That would be the label on him. And there'd be enough evidence to say, would he ever get a chance to do it? And Milwaukee would obviously be in a rebuild, so he wouldn't be able to have a chance to kind of turn that around immediately.
And the weirdest part of it all is, and I know this may sound crazy when I say it, but just hear me out.
Just say it.
I think he's a more talented basketball player than Giannis Antetokounmpo. I do. He is a more skilled player to me than Giannis.
Just the shooting as well.
He can step back and shoot it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what Giannis brings to you in terms of power, as long as Giannis is healthy and keeps that explosiveness for the next few years, he is such a dominant player that he's
an MVP. He's an MVP finalist for 7 years in a row.
But Cat, from a talent standpoint, is special.
Now, there's no reason to bring this up, but since it's already on the table.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Oh, no.
All right.
Even throwing Giannis out there as a possibility, you've got – you don't think Boston's going to throw their hat in the ring?
By the way, that's becoming a thing.
Right. So – now, all of a sudden, your pivot isn't as automatic as we thought a few months ago.
And it's also something you'd have to really be worried about, because if Boston thinks they can make a move in that way and get him there, not only is it, okay, you didn't get him, but your biggest rival did.
Wait, but that means getting rid of one of them?
Well,
probably Brown.
Jay Will said, and Wendy pointed this out too. Jaylen Brown this summer has the opportunity to sign another extension. If he says, I don't want to, I'm not ready to commit full time here, it makes it really easy for Boston to say, all right, well, we're not going to wait on you then. And if you're Milwaukee, who are you getting better than that?
You're not.
In a trade for Giannis. So it does seem like something that, again, this is all, hypothetical, but it is something that could be on the table. And Giannis is a guy that would feel a way about how, I wanted to go to New York. They didn't want me. I get to see them 4 times a year. I'm not going to forget that. And that, so there's a lot there that you have to think about, but it doesn't matter if you get a ring.
Hypothetical,
Doesn't
but
matter.
hopefully something we don't have to worry about, but we do have to concern ourselves with is ENN.
Yes.
Yeah, you bet your ass.
Because it is coming up next, Peter.
And there's no ENN like a 5:50 right before a 6 o'clock Knick playoff pregame.
Makes you lean forward more.
That's right.
Listen
He just
harder.
did.
Yeah.
He did lean forward.
Yeah, sure.
You leaned back.
I leaned back just because I wanted to get more comfortable. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
The Let's Go Knicks chants have begun again in earnest.
The 76ers.
And it'll tick down to 0. Ball game over, Knicks win. And a commanding start to this series with a 137-98 win.
The Eastern Conference semifinals.
It's just one game. Now we got to be ready to go for game 2 in a couple days, and we know they're going to be ready.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 6 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This month, it's time to saddle up for some big wins with our $65,000 Winner's Circle drawing. Be here every Friday in May between 4 and 6 p.m. when 4 winners will be drawn every hour to win $250 free play. At 7 p.m., 4 winners will join the Winner's Circle to win $2,500 cash. Ride your winning streak where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pack to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
And the Knicks have made history again, becoming the first playoff team in NBA history to win 3 straight games by at least 25 points.
Do we just need to get used to the fact, are you going beyond 5?
No, I think it's a friendly 5.
I think it's going 6, and it's going to be a 6. Not that different from what we just saw.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. Service Titan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. Service Titan, AI for the trades.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
Sail GP is the ultimate race on water, where international teams go head-to-head in F-50 catamarans flying over 60 miles per hour. Think you know who's taking the win in Bermuda? Make your pick on the ESPN New York app, and you'll be entered to win an exclusive meet and greet with Sail GP athletes at their team base at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. Make your pick now and get closer to the action with Sail GP. Sail GP. High speed, high stakes. The ultimate race on water. Landing in New York, May 30th and 31st.
This is an ENN Special Report. Now reporting.
The very handsome Jewish man, Pidto Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports. Do what you want. It's ENN.
Hi, how's
Hello.
hi? Good.
Hi.
Sure. Why not? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ENN.
Ray Rowe.
You ever watch YouTube?
On this big Knicks, what is it, Wednesday?
Sure.
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday. ENN is brought to you by Fanatics Fest NYC. Still looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift? Boy, do I have the thing for you.
I am.
Here's something. I know for a fact Stephanie would love to meet John Cena or Danhausen or maybe even Jalen Brunson. You can do it all at Fanatics Fest now through Sunday, May 10th. Get one adult ticket and get one kid's ticket free.
Nice.
Maybe Gracie go meet Jack Hughes.
Maybe.
He's going to be there?
All there, fanaticsfest.com. I don't know, probably everybody's there,
Yeah,
Don.
yeah.
Don't you know?
Quinn might be on his way there, too.
Whoa. Gracie wants to meet Jack Hughes.
Oh, I know.
He's a heck of a kid.
Yeah?
If I took Nancy to Fanatics Fest for Mother's Day,
well,
I'd be available Monday.
Well, no, it depends. Well, no, it depends. You know perfectly well. There are a few people, if they added them to Fanatics Fest, it would be the gift of a lifetime. Now, I don't think those players are getting added this year.
I think Fanatics Fest is too good at what they do.
It would be over.
I don't think Fanatics Fest is having.
Don and I would be like Felix and Oscar.
Yeah. Come meet Dave Rigetti and Patrice Brisebois.
Yeah.
If that happened, you better bring her.
Audience of one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off ENN tonight by saying good evening to all of us. How old are you?
That's
again?
the point of the day.
58. You are? Are you sure?
Why?
Because I don't believe it.
No. I love that you said, are you sure?
Good evening to Don.
You don't get nothing for going 2 rounds.
Good evening to Don.
Old man, I am what I am. I'm 58. What am I going to pretend?
Good evening to Don.
See, there's nothing worse than an old man pretending to be young.
That's a good point.
All right? I'm going to lean
what?
into what I am.
Good evening to Don.
Why?
See, that was the one. That was a lot of drops, but that was the one.
Why?
Good evening to Alan.
He's got little legs. He's a wee little man.
No.
I'm at Stout. I went Irish.
Good evening to myself.
The guy's last name is Champsky.
Good evening to...
Clean day?
I guess so. Good evening to Monica.
I know y'all. Y'all like my knucklehead little cousins. I want to pull your ears and smack you in the back of the head sometimes because you do some dumb shit after you've been great.
Yeah, it did happen. I thought she did.
I think that's the second time it's happened.
She got comfortable with us.
I believe so far this calendar year, we've had more guests swear than callers.
Yes.
Yeah, no, guests are just...
They're very comfortable with us.
But do they not know that you can't say the S word?
I think they just are comfortable with us and forget. They think they're on the phone with their friend. And they forget, oh, wait, we're on the air.
Speaking of friends, let's say good evening to Heather Babbles.
Oh, my gosh.
I love it.
And lastly, of course, because it is a Knicks Wednesday.
Go Knicks!
Good evening to Danhausen. Of course.
Well, so far, his uncurse is legendary.
No, it's making everybody money. Me or Danhausen. I'm not sure who it is.
It's legendary.
We got to...
So we have him on. If they win this series, should we have him on?
I
need to wait till... Or wait till they lose?
No, I didn't say wait. I said even if they lose. I think it'd be a great guest either way.
Well, I just reached out. I said I feel like if this thing keeps going, one of these live events, Danhausen has to show up.
Yes.
That's what it feels like, right? Maybe outside the Garden.
Speaking of which,
properly.
Did you know that Paul Heyman was a big Knicks fan?
Well, I mean, he's a big New York guy.
But was he a Knicks fan?
I've never discussed Knicks with him.
Because apparently on Get Up, he was all fired up.
Yeah, he took shots at Jaylen Brown.
And went at, but he also went at the Sixers. And Philly fans. He actually went more after Philly fans.
And, well, he has a deep history in Philly.
Yes, he said that.
And that's where ECW was. So he's beloved in Philly.
He was talking about the Rocky statue and how it should be replaced. And he goes, and by the way, all of you that celebrate Rocky, he didn't win the fight. He starts yelling stuff.
Well,
he went in.
You're honoring a character. It's not a real person.
It is not. No, that's the unfortunate part. I mean, as Joe Frazier, I think, would probably feel like there were real heroes in boxing from Philadelphia. We mentioned the Brad Stevens of it all. Here's Brad Stevens on conversations with Jaylen Brown.
I talked to Jaylen Monday a little bit after he just real quickly and was nothing but positive. He has not expressed those frustrations to me. We've been here 10 years together, and I do think that, obviously I love JB, and everybody around here loves JB. And, I think just like any of our other guys, as we get to the end of the season, I'll be here, and my door's always open. And if anybody ever wants to come in and talk about it, and talk about, their team, their place, whatever the case may be, I'm all ears. And that would be 1 through 16. Not just Jaylen, not just Jason, not just the guys that have been here. I think it's really important to be available.
If we can condense that to nothing to see here. JB was just a little frustrated, let it out, but he's not upset with us. He's not frustrated with us, and on we go.
What was that there, Jacob?
I feel like the second one goes with everybody's been talking about with Joe Mazzulla and his team.
All right, let's play the second clip from Brad Stevens.
One of the things that we've got to figure out is how to have more of an impact at the rim, and I think we do need to add to our team to do that. Everybody plays a role in that.
Yeah, well, that's one thing they didn't do, which is why, again, the Sixers won that series, was because Boston never went into the paint, and when they did, all they did was get to the paint and then spray it out and shoot threes. They shot a ton of threes. They did not do anything in the paint. They did not attack the rim the way they need to, or anybody needs to if you want to beat a Sixer team, especially when Embiid's not playing. And so what Stevens said was it's on him. Roster-wise, we've got to find better players that can score at the rim. So watch them in this offseason. They will be active.
Very.
All right, let's move over to the New York Yankees for a moment, shall we?
Sure.
We shall.
Let's hear from manager Aaron Boone, an update on what's going on with Ben Rice. Rice Aroni.
It doesn't look like it's going to be an IL. Again, if it continues to not get to a point where he's playable, then obviously we'll have that conversation. But it does seem day to day. So I know he felt better today. So hopefully he's able to do some things and maybe even be available on some level. But we'll see.
Okay. All right. Benny's doing fine, according to Booney.
Doing fine.
Nothing to see here?
No, it's just, the good news is that it doesn't seem like something that'll be a long-term issue, and they should get him back fairly soon because he and Judge have been a dynamic duo.
What was he got, 11 home runs, Rice?
I think it's like, right? Yeah, it's got to be that.
Yeah, not too bad to Aaron Judge's league-leading 14.
14, yes.
Like you dream about. Brian Cashman with the New York Post. How hard was it keeping Volpe in AAA?
Well, like anything else, we're paid to make very difficult decisions. I think this year's New York Yankee team's a lot deeper. We have a lot more choices, and Caballero has emerged with his play. And so we kind of had to honor that. It kind of snuck up on us a little bit, but that's good. Last year Grisham was the guy that came up out of nowhere. A couple of years ago, I waiver claimed Weaver, and then he became our closer in 2024. That certainly wasn't part of the script, so you let the games play out and you honor the performance.
It's interesting how he feels the need to defend himself by throwing out examples, right? And listen, I guess he has to because there's a lot of this fan base that still hates him and wants him out, wants him fired. But if you really look at it, honestly, he's doing a terrific job. The team's good every single year. And as much as you were frustrated with them and Boone defending Volpe, they pivoted.
Well, they had good reason to, because of and he said it kind of snuck up on us. I think they looked at Caballero as a situational kind of player, right?
Yeah, but he acquired him.
Well, but he did not for that reason. He acquired him to add athleticism, base paths, like be an annoying player, somebody we can put in as a pinch runner, like an occasional guy. This was not going to be somebody that was going to unseat Anthony
but he
Volpe.
did play a position
Yeah.
that he could do it.
Oh, but to his credit,
right,
he's kind of taken the job. And, the whole thing about how I love this, you can't lose your job due to injury. Tell Wally Pipp that. You can.
Well, especially when you're a player that was struggling too, not just with injuries, but he won the Gold Glove his rookie year. Not a great defender last year.
No.
Didn't hit to the way that they thought.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for ENN, brought to you by our friends at Fanatics
wow.
Fest NYC.
All right.
FanaticsFest.com, going down July 16th to the 19th at the Javits Center. You do not want to miss it.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out to Stout.
Thank you, everyone.
Back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock to recap, hopefully, a Knicks win. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
I'm a dog, and my job is to make you happy. So I recommend Optimum Fiber for your home. It's famously fast, way better than flaky 5G home internet, which can slow down the more people, or dogs, are online. So switch to Optimum Fiber, starting at only $25 a month with a 5-year price lock. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. That's 888-4-OPTIMUM.